Meeting of the Ware Board of Selectmen. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, public comment. Just so you know, Alden, there's a 5-minute
Yep.
window. Okay.
I won't be that long.
I didn't figure it would, but
I'll be
just figure I'll let you know.
Eldon Towns, 111 Huntington Hill. Been paying attention to the meetings lately, and I don't go to the dump really at all. I got a dumpster, but what I have been paying attention to is just a couple things with, you know, I guess I have handed cash to a person here or there for some things that I have dropped off before I've had a dumpster. We can't be handling cash. We should be doing something with credit card or whatever. They're very simple nowadays. And then also the other thing with the bags is be able to tell if, you know, if they're red, blue, transparent, whatever. We'll know they're Ware bags, not like Deering or Henniker. If it stands out like a sore thumb, it'll be a sore thumb. So I'm in favor with what you guys are looking at with transfer station things. I think scales are a good idea. The transfer station is a good place to utilize what it generates so it can support itself, and we can slowly take that out of the tax for, you know, running the town. And hopefully, like in other towns, Allenstown for one, I'm pretty sure that their wastewater facility supplements other areas of the town. They make buku bucks in waste. And just with my slight experience with being in wastewater, there's a lot of money to be made in waste, especially solid waste. So I think that it's time to get with the times and keep track of what we do and utilize that down to the cent. It just makes sense. And then if they need any equipment, you don't got to go to the taxpayer for it anymore. You just get what you need. That over time, can't do it overnight, but one thing at a time, I think is definitely the step in the right direction. And if you don't like the cost as a citizen, get a dumpster. They're cheap and they'll sort it at wherever they take the dumpster to. I mean, I'm still going to have a dumpster. I won't go to the transfer station. Then the other thing was the last meeting with the Army Corps of Engineers coming in here asking for maintenance on that short portion of road. Prior to, I think, some donated work that was mentioned, I think the road was touched a couple times with the town grader, if I remember right. That short portion, I remember seeing it myself. We can't be maintaining that. If we need a beaver dam removed, the Army Corps, they want to use that entrance. So if they want to remove a beaver dam, I think they can do it instead of us go down with our backhoe with the fuel nowadays. And I don't think we should be chasing every beaver dam around. We got enough with that one down by the bank. And I think you're opening a can of worms with just using emergency funds for Class 6 road maintenance like that. There wasn't an emergency to get down there. I live on a Class 6 road, and I know many other people do, and there's a lot of Class 6 road miles in town that people live on. So I think the town could get caught in a sticky spot doing what they're doing with that little short portion of road. So I would like to see the Army Corps, if they want to keep it open, they do what they need to do. But I do remember going down that road before it was ever touched. It was still passable with a truck. And I don't ever, as a kid, remember it being terrible enough where you could not get down there. So, other than that, you guys have a good night.
Thanks.
Thank you, Alden.
Stab at this from the other side.
5 minutes, sir, and state your name.
Yes, I know. Jack Meany, 282 Quaker Street, and like I said, this is the first time I've been on this side of the table in a while. I'm here about the proposal to do clear bags at the transfer station. Like young Mr. Towns, I also have a dumpster, but that's because of a lot of the stuff from my business. I can't go into a regular facility, it has to go by dumpster. The biggest thing is, I think, in this day of trying to save every nickel we can and save the taxpayers money, is that if we're missing stuff that's can be recycled and put it in a recycling area, by seeing it in a clear bag and being very open about it, it's going to save that much more money in tonnage that has to be hauled. And that's where the expense comes, is in what the tonnage is, how much the fuel is, and like everything else, everything's now fuel-driven to the point it's ridiculous. But that's, so to speak, my 2 cents on it. I think that to try it, as Selectman Cahill said, for a year, I think is well worth it. And it may also, for the same factor, cut down on people coming in from other towns dumping their trash for us to take the burden on. As far as dealing with cash, unfortunately, that's a hard thing to do. I was just there the other day. I had to dispose of some demo at the transfer station, and I went up and gave Frank the money, and no problem, and he rang it right in the cash register while I was right there. So I mean, there is a record of it. I think to hand it to somebody in their hand is a little different, but or you could get a receipt for it. But yeah, using a debit card or a credit card, if you have the ability to do that, it'd be a lot cleaner. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Any other public comment? Okay. We'll move forward to department head committee items.
Benji, do you want this?
Don't sit down. Recognize Director Knapp. Since you're up.
You're up.
How we doing?
So far, so good.
I guess I don't really know what you guys want to be briefed on tonight about the bridge. We're really no different than we were last. I didn't get a chance to read this whole email, but I do know what it says because I spoke to Tom today, and we're still at the same options we were before. Really, there's 3 options what to do with the current bridge. One is to Band-Aid it for over $100,000, which I thought we all agreed that was off the table. The other one is to do a so-called permanent fix with what's salvageable, and the third is to completely tear the whole thing out and start right from scratch. Don't think we're far enough along to even have that conversation. So I had started with permitting and surveying to see about the temporary bridge options that we had talked about. And when we got that done, then we could talk about, there's gonna be 1 lane, 2 lane, we're gonna rent it, we're gonna buy it. Get that in, and then do the main bridge. He was a little unsure what direction we're gonna go, so he put that permitting process on hold the last couple of weeks. So I'll get a hold of him tomorrow if you want me to continue on with the permitting. That has to be done no matter what we do.
Oh, yeah. Benji, my only question, as times progress, is just in the back of my head. I think I'm pretty sure the board is 100% on the permanent repair.
Yep.
Which is obviously the redeck, the new beams, et cetera.
Right.
What is the time difference between installing a functional temporary bridge versus repairing what we have? Is it? I mean,
I don't think we got that right now. The
That's my
temporary
only
bridge would
question.
be put in this winter, probably,
Okay.
and fixing it would, I don't have that.
Right.
The difference is we're gonna have to find the money to do something with the current bridge. We have enough money to put temporary in.
Okay, so we
That's
don't,
the difference.
we don't quite have enough to do the,
We don't have anywhere close to enough within the bridge fund, unless
Okay.
we're gonna take it from other places.
Okay.
Without asking the voters, so.
Okay.
We'll either wait till March, or if there's other
Right.
funds that I don't know about.
I thought we were close on the amount to do the permanent fix as a whole without doing the temporary bridge. I was just thinking timeline, if like you said, if you place the order for the steel, et cetera, and the permits and everything went through tomorrow,
Right.
and the timeline was we could have it fixed by the end of winter, or have this temporary bridge put up by the end of winter, why would we do the temporary bridge if we could do the permanent? That was my only question.
Right.
Just a timeline, but if that's not on the table, it's not on the table.
I don't know, Naomi probably read this better than me, cause I just got here with it. It looks like it's between 450 and 500,000 to
Okay. Do the repair.
do the repair, and it'd be a 2-month closure on it. Which I suppose is doable. That would be next summer, I would say by now, cause he said you're looking at late October, early November, October-ish, September, October-ish before we get the permitting done. If I call him tomorrow and get him back on it, cause he put a pause on it.
Yeah,
Please call him tomorrow and at least get that going.
absolutely.
He put a pause on it because of 2 weeks ago, when I talked to Benji today. 2 weeks ago, you had someone here that wanted to look at that option, and he did look at that option, which, it's more along the range. And it says we're here to maximize the decision life by replacing all the stringers and the floor beams with galvanized steel and constructing a new concrete deck to protect the steel, you're looking $650 to $700K.
Okay.
So he stopped when I emailed him, but I think we needed to have a price, because it sounded,
number.
we
need a number.
like a quick,
Can you
But it
see,
wasn't.
can you CC us that?
yeah, I'll forward it to you.
Let me just read through that.
And that's kind of what I was, it sounded like it was all right, put some measurements up, kind of like you're rebuilding a wall
Well,
type
I
thing.
guess I knew that, and I missed that meeting. I mean, I had already spoke to the engineer, I knew that. That's why I'd moved forward the process.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
I missed the public comment, and didn't know that we were getting
I just
involved with other people, so.
didn't know if that was, I thought that was the option. I thought that's what we were doing right along,
so,
was that replacement.
And I think when it comes time to fix the bridge that's there, we're gonna have to have a long conversation, because the state aid money to do a full replacement at very best is 2027. If they do it, if they carry through.
Can't wait that long.
We can't wait that
So,
long.
I think that's a decision tomorrow to have.
Mhm.
Today,
Let's get it
I
passable.
think we need to get permitting done, look at temporary bridge, so I can get over it this winter. Fire department get over it this winter. Whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Ben, just on a sideline conversation you and I were having about some other stuff, you mentioned an easement, a potential easement issue,
That's why we need the surveying done.
okay? But where is that? Is that on that,
So we're hoping to utilize, and it's all skeptical, they might come back and say, you can't even do this. Hoping to utilize where the old bridge was, but that was there 100 years ago, so
Right.
stone foundation, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not possible we can do it. He said the property line is very close to that, just looking at the tax map.
Okay.
So that's what he's working on now, is the wetland permitting and the surveying to see
If that's
we can,
doable.
because if it's not our property, then we're gonna go ask the landowner. They
Right.
might tell us to pound sand, and then
Yeah,
I'll be back here and say, well, I guess we are closing it. So I don't know.
right.
yeah, so
Okay.
that's awful critical, because otherwise that just washes out that entire plan. And the next is, this is sort of the hypothetical, but say tomorrow, because we aren't enforcing who goes across that bridge. So say tomorrow somebody goes across the bridge, and we got a hole in the deck,
Mhm,
and we gotta close the bridge.
mhm.
Do we have a plan on how where the traffic would flow from there? Like if we put up detour signs tomorrow, where would we detour them to?
Our traffic would have to go around East Road and Buzzell Hill and Peasley Hill. And truck traffic would have to go all the way south like they're
Turn them around,
doing now,
okay,
all the way down to Riverdale, or Kobe Road.
yeah, okay.
If I
But you
drive
have
the truck,
that,
I just go to
yeah.
Riverdale.
Because from being underneath it, that's not,
It's in poor shape. It's
that's-
much worse than it was last time we fixed it.
yeah, I mean, it could happen,
It could happen,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you know, the school bus traffic, it's an inconvenience to the town as much as it is anyone else.
Right.
But, and probably the temporary bridge wouldn't be put in till midwinter, is
Right.
what he told me today, you know, it's kind of a winter job, cause it's not, you're not pouring concrete in the cold, you'd be putting precast blocks. So it would be something that somebody would do in the winter.
Okay.
But permitting probably won't be done till late September, he said.
An access road would have to be built before
Now,
that.
if we did choose to fix it and we found a bag of money and fixed it, the permitting would have been different. That was kind of, I guess, one of the reasons got it put on hold was because if we worked from the top, it'd be different. We'd have to find that 650,000.
Well, see, I thought, for some reason, I had the number in the back of my head that we had it if we didn't put the temporary bridge up.
We have
That's
about 400,
right,
420.
420, right, and I thought that's about what it was, in the conversations we had here.
They
I didn't realize.
guesstimated me and him standing on the street.
Ah, okay,
You know,
That's where
I'm
you got
assuming he went somewhere to get this guesstimate number today.
okay.
It was very rough numbers.
Maybe use this tape measure for this one?
Yeah, maybe. So, I mean, it was, I came to you guys, I believe, I don't remember what day it was, me, him, and Naomi went and met, but we came that week anyway.
Okay.
You know, a couple days later of just meeting at the bridge with a bridge builder, and I came right here and reported it, but it was very, very speculated
Yeah,
scenarios.
yeah, yeah,
And
Maybe,
I
yeah.
don't know if it's much better now, I see that his numbers are different, but I don't know that it's any,
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have,
Very
that- you
speculated.
you don't have a,
and it'll
But
be
you don't have a
something you guys are
contractor,
gonna
do you?
have to decide, you know, what we wanna do when it comes to that, but I definitely think we're gonna have to ask for some money unless there's some laying around somewhere for that. Because when we do that, that's what kinda sucks, is when we do that, that's gonna take half of my 400 to do this.
Right,
Kinda have to find that whole 650
right,
somewhere,
give or take, yeah.
right?
so Ben, would it be unreasonable to at least set some benchmarks? Like, find out, like, the permit, you just mentioned it, that the permitting, surveying, that looks like the closest that would happen is October.
Yes.
Okay, so it could maybe just compile that sort of timeline on a piece of paper, because what we're doing, we're basically taking it and putting it into, like Rick just did, you know, sort of nothing carved in stone, but just, this is when this should be complete, this is when we should have this is when we should have an estimate, not, you know, on the back of a napkin, the guy just roughing out a number. And then who's the erector? I mean, who is the bridge builder? Is that-
Right, so how this is gonna work is, I found out today from Tom, the guesstimated time frame for surveying and
Permitting.
Yeah,
permitting.
yeah.
I found out today, I mean, he's been
Right.
working on it, so.
Right,
And then, he's gonna write a scope of suggested work around what we all decide what we want done, and then we'll have to send that out to bid.
right.
Right,
And then, part of the bid, I would guess we would put in there,
be a hinge on March.
right, well, right, but I would also think part of the bid package would be availability. Be done this year,
Exactly.
2028,
Yeah,
so then we'll have that. So I don't think we can really put a timeline together until the permitting's done, and then he writes a scope of, we decide what we wanna do, and then we write a scope, he's gonna do the scope of work for us.
right. Well, I think, and that's, and I think you're 100% spot on. I think this board needs to decide tonight, what we're doing with that bridge and what we want Benji to do.
Well, I don't think we can know about the temporary bridge till we know about the permitting and the surveying. That's
With,
why we're kinda.
well, that's what I mean though, is give you the green light for continuing with the permitting and
Yeah.
the surveying,
Yeah.
et cetera,
Yeah,
Do we have
to get a bridge up.
Do we have a dollar figure on that? Has anyone given us an estimate of what that's gonna be? Read from the bottom. So no estimate on what the permitting cost is gonna be, I mean ballpark, is it a,
I don't think he
did
gave
you write
us
that, Naomi?
Couple
No.
thousand probably, I don't know.
oh no, be more than that.
To me, the cost of the permitting is really inconsequential. We gotta get the bridge taken care of.
We gotta
Anyway.
get crossing there,
I'm just
yeah.
just
More or less
curious.
No,
you
he
know,
didn't
all of a
lay it
sudden
out.
somebody-
I didn't think.
Somebody
you
drops
did.
a $20,000 bill on her desk.
And I'm sure it's gonna be a few thousand to
Yeah.
get it done, you know?
Yeah, I don't even know what the permitting process is, personally.
I mean,
Never done it.
no.
Right.
No.
Right.
They're trying to get
Was it?
emergency permit, and they don't know if it'll fall on that, and it's just,
Yeah,
he's trying every angle.
okay,
That's why myself and Naomi decided to go with this gentleman's, because he has the entire experience of this particular bridge under his belt, and that's kinda got us ahead of the eight ball a little bit, right? I mean, if we'd have started with someone new.
We spent a week trying to find somebody.
Yeah, Naomi tried to find
right,
companies that we've used before, and this gentleman left a company that he's worked for forever, but he was the person she's talked to for years and years
Right.
and years.
Right,
And,
yeah.
no, I think
So
that's
it-
fine.
I just chose to go with him,
I'm
while putting that
fine with that.
process out to bid, because.
He knows the way the town works, I'm good with that.
I don't want to take up any more, but I'm trying to back it up in my head. So the earliest we would be sitting down to discuss whether or not we're going through with the temporary bridge because the permitting, surveying,
Probably,
easement is gonna be,
September, October?
it's gonna be October. And then we're gonna make a decision whether we go into design, scope of work.
right,
That'd be another probably 4 to 6 weeks, and then possibly a bid package out.
Yes, yep.
Mhm.
That's kind of what he had laid out for me,
So
because if he says we can't do a temporary bridge where
where you
that
want to,
spot, then we're out the temporary bridge, and we're just gonna have to
close it,
close it,
yeah,
except for car traffic.
right.
I don't know how I'm gonna plow it.
And at that point, if the surveying comes back, we can't do it, we might as well move to get a number, get a bid,
Right.
right? At that point, might as well say, if the survey
Yeah.
comes
We don't
back,
know.
no,
That's where I'm going.
We
Yeah.
don't know if we can put in a temporary, if it's gonna be one lane, two lane. We need to know if we can do a temporary before we really talk anymore about a temporary.
right, Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, it's
I
new.
think we could purchase a temporary, put it up and sell it for 3/4 of what and be out short money, but, I don't know if we can do that, so I don't know if it's worth worrying about today.
correct, yeah, that's what I was thinking, all right,
And if they can't do it, then we're just gonna have to close the bridge. And
Right.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to come up with some money to fix it next year if somebody's willing to
Right.
fix it next year.
yeah, it'll be on the
And the
ballot.
bridge guys aren't exactly standing around waiting for something to do.
No, they got plenty to do,
Lotto, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so, I think the consensus is move forward with the permits and keep us posted.
Okay. I will do that.
Yeah, I mentioned to you, but keep in mind giving Leo a ring. They got so many bridges going on over there, that big bridge they did on Western Ave.
Yeah.
He's got contractors that he's got a relationship with. So you might be able to just put a bug in somebody's ear that it's coming down the pike, you know?
Okay.
Because a lot of these guys, like you say, they're planning out and they know a job's coming in January to bid.
Mm-hmm,
Might just start to get it out on the street,
okay.
yeah.
The word.
Yeah.
How are we doing with the current change to the transfer station? I want to keep it pretty, condensed. I don't want to get into.
Well, I mean, the only change we've had, I guess, is putting the furniture in the demo trailer, and it's done exactly what we thought it would do. We've taken in probably 1/3 of the furniture now,
Mm-hmm.
because it was coming elsewhere, because the only town around it was
Took it for free.
Yeah.
Which is making the trash trailers about 3 ton heavier, because
Right, I saw that today. I saw it today.
it's compressing better. I mean, all the things I thought would happen by doing that's happening. Only thing that'll ever throw a wrench in that is if where we take our demolition changes hands.
Right,
And I've had some people say, why didn't you do that years ago? Well, because where we used to take our demolition would absolutely not accept that. That's why we didn't do that years ago.
right, right,
And it could go back to that way. I don't
right.
know.
You don't know, right?
Right now.
We're fortunate right now, and
So,
Yeah.
it's going well. I think we're charging very fairly for it. I still think we're as cheap as anybody, you know, I tried not to gouge anybody, but, and we got a flat fee for everything instead of trying to guess. You know, last time we charged for beds, we had I think John was up there, we had a list that long, and you had to sit there and argue with someone if it was a twin or a.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, like I say, it's a fits-all.
Yeah.
It's a good blanket.
Yeah.
It's got a ton of metal in it. My guys are taking the metal out.
Yeah,
So that's, you know, they're looking for stickers a little more. We've caught a few people that were from out of town, and
Yeah. Hey, that was a good news story that you told me about that guy who was trying to become a.
yeah, he's very angry. He was gonna come see you guys. Yes, he didn't, but
Yeah.
owned land in Ware, but his house wasn't in Ware, and
Oh.
been coming here a long time, I guess, and
oh,
And he was,
very unhappy and did lots of yelling at my help. So then they sent him to me, and yelled at me a little and said he was gonna come see you guys. I said,
But the good news was that he had picked up a Ware residence permit for municipal hauling. So he had picked up that route, and he picks up trash in a neighboring town. And
Got him
so all of a sudden, the two routes had gotten combined, but because the neighboring town has stricter, easy ways of monitoring what comes in,
Yeah.
he chose that he'd do the route to take it all to us. And the boys caught him, and that was a good snag, a really good snag.
Yeah, I
Benji,
think,
I have a question. Somebody came in today, what do we do with, like, all seasons? They're really not residents, they can't register their car here. A
Almost.
gentleman came in and paid his taxes, and he asked where the dump was, because he needed to dispose of tires and propane tanks.
yeah. I think as far as municipal trash, almost all of them have dumpsters.
Okay.
Pay items, we really try to monitor that. I'm worried about it just a little less because at least they're paying.
it's a pay item, right?
It's not a tax dollar. If they bring a tire in, at least they're gonna pay for it, I suppose.
Okay.
Right.
When they go
I
to
don't
South
know
Ware,
anybody that doesn't have, Cold Springs used to bring their packer and they don't even do that anymore.
Okay.
We get as far as I know, we get nothing from any of the campgrounds anymore. And we plow into all seasons and they got huge dumpsters out there, so.
yeah.
What I used to do when I was up there,
Yeah.
if, in the same, I had people call me up, same deal. I says, bring me a copy of your tax bill,
Yeah,
so at least I know you're paying taxes in town.
yeah, 'cause they do pay.
And
on
most of the
those-
time they would.
They pay on the season.
Yeah.
They do pay taxes on them.
Ben, can we send him to South Ware?
I don't know if we can make them.
Well, I meant, like this guy today, it was closed,
Yeah,
but they're open,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll take a propane tank
so we
and
can
a
offer
tire.
that, right?
Yeah.
Down
yeah,
at Granite
yeah,
State,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good solution, though, because
For tires and.
same price.
Yep.
And there's actually no further drive.
Yeah, I just didn't, I realized they pay taxes, I just didn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
it's a-
think we get a ton of campground traffic, but a little bit we do,
Okay.
I guess.
Like you said,
Lots of
it's,
stickers
yeah.
around.
I mean, it's if it's the pay to
We
throw,
got huge
it's
Yeah,
dumpsters
it is.
there, so
I mean,
It's a lot.
kinda, yeah,
they're paying for them
Right.
seasonals.
Right.
right.
You're always gonna get that one you don't really know what to do with.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to pull all the construction debris out. I got, one of my guys called me this weekend about load of vinyl side, and I said, it's gonna go in the demo now, charge wood price, but it's construction debris in my opinion. That stuff all used to go on the municipal waste.
Right.
I'm trying to pull that out, and I think it's,
Starting to,
I think it's gonna be a big deal. The amount of furniture that we're taking in now, is gonna be substantial amount of tonnage that's not going in the trash, but the amount that was going in before is the number that you
yeah,
wanna be proud of, because took in 122 pieces the week before we charged, we took in 50-some the week we started charging.
Yeah.
right.
You're down
So-
to 20 this week.
Yeah.
20, I didn't get look at my
Yeah,
numbers.
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's.
It's a
And
substantial
it
drop.
was steady. You guys saw the piles of
Oh, yeah.
mattress and stuff. There was always complaining about the furniture out there. They threw it in steady.
Right.
It wasn't that we stockpiled it forever. That's how fast it
It's just
came
how
in.
fast it grew.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
No, it was a good move, absolutely. No, it's gonna,
Yeah. So as long as our current vendor keeps taking it, I think that's a great
yeah, I
idea.
mean, it could change.
Yep.
And I have to come tell you,
Yeah.
we're gonna do something different.
yeah, I did ask, I had a conversation with Luke, and just to let you know, he says he's been taking it forever.
Up there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've been
see,
taking,
I just started going there about 5 years ago.
yeah,
We took it to a different vendor.
yeah,
And, it was a very difficult vendor. In my first year here, I started in April. In that January, they changed their rates. And we paid a certain amount per ton if it was under a certain percentage of sheetrock and PT.
yeah.
And the first 4 loads was consistently $30 to $40 a ton more because they found a problem. And Matt at the time he's, very good at keeping track of stuff, kept track, and we were way under the 20%. They just kept finding ways, and I
Yeah.
said, I have had enough
We're
of
out.
this. So I went to look in, and Naughton's has been terrific to deal with for,
Yep.
they're picky about when our trailer's gotta go in. My hauling vendor don't like it very much. It's gotta be in there at the crack of dawn, 'cause
Right.
it's so big. But other than that,
Yeah.
they're super.
That can be worked around.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
All right.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah.
I think-
Thank you.
I think Naomi asked me about the stickers. I don't know, were we talking about that?
Well, we broached the subject 2 weeks ago, you weren't here, we were gonna wait for you to be here.
Yep,
And I think, I mean, I guess the stickers are here, so,
I just wanted, again, I don't want, there was a lot of discussion that happened 2 weeks ago when you weren't here, and I don't think that's fair to you, and that's why I wanted you here this week, at least to have some discussion. Is the stickers, I mean, we have them. You're good with having Maureen issue them?
yeah, I think, I
Probably,
think Kevin and Herb kinda got it worked out more than, we're gonna have to make sure we're all on the same page, so when my guys pick up somebody to get one,
Yep.
they know.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about the cost, I kinda
Yeah,
have thought a lot about it and talked, to Naomi and a few other people, kinda thinking, cause we want people to get a sticker willingly.
Right.
Kinda thought maybe if
Encourage
we
it.
gave two away, and then after that, if they broke their windshield, needed a supplementary, or they got 17 cars and they think they gotta take a different one every week, they
hey,
can buy that.
hey, don't be yelling at me.
I got more than you, I promise. I'll pick two to go to the dump with. But I guess it was my thought, cause I don't wanna discourage people in not getting it. $2 doesn't sound like nothing, but.
Yeah, I think we moved it to $1, Ben, per sticker. and
Yeah, because
people-
two was making profit on substantially. And I think one,
It's up to you guys. You wanna charge for all of them or not? I'd be in favor of giving one or two away and then charging thereafter, but I don't care.
The only,
cost, really.
yeah, and the only place they would get the charge, because we did get, I forwarded you guys that email, is when they do it online, just because we have
right. it
just
costs.
costs.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That has to
Right.
go away.
Just like when
And
you pay taxes online, it's
Oh,
cost.
yep.
The guys will get an updated report from Clerkworks once a week
Mm-hmm.
on who has them, and it'll have that information that John said he used to say, bring a tax
That'll
bill.
be great. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
little easier for us, I think.
Yeah,
It'll be
they can
good.
just click on a name, click on a number, it'll tell them
Yeah.
that's the right guy.
That's a step in the right
Yeah.
direction, I
Okay.
think, with those.
all right,
We've
cool.
given the same sticker out for 100 years, and I don't even know how we got to the numbers we're at now.
Yeah.
So we'll start over new ones, and hopefully it'll
So
last.
you-
I don't wanna switch these every year like
No.
an inspection sticker, but
Mhm.
we think we need to,
No,
we've
yeah,
had the same sticker, I've been here almost 21 years, so we've had the same one.
Okay.
well,
All right.
Naomi has 1 and 2, so try to get number 3 from her.
Okay. I'll have my wife bid on that.
Yeah, bid.
She goes to the dump, everybody picks on me, I work there and she still takes it, so.
Nice.
Just like me.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, I think, I don't really have nothing else, we've just been doing our thing at the
Okay.
highway, that's it.
Cool. Board member has anything for Benji?
I think
Not at
the
this
transfer
moment.
station's picked up and looks good.
It does.
Stockhouse has mowed it twice.
Yep. Yep.
I think they've, done a good job up
Yeah.
there doing that.
No, I think they're doing a great job
We
up
picked
there.
out some signs this week we have a certain amount, it's on a point system, but
Mhm.
anyway, we get certain number of signs for free every year. And they're just the ones we have, but that'd be newer.
That's fine. Yeah. It looks fresher, right?
Maybe take some old ones down.
Good.
I'm gonna work on just a picture to put on the wall of the proposed, future of the facility, what it looks like for recycling facility and stuff for CIP,
Okay.
just so that they know in the next 4 or 5 years, we might be coming in.
This is coming in.
Just that's it, just a traffic flow and see what we can do, and
Mm-hmm.
what kind of building maybe we want, and where to put a scale. I don't think there's anyone that discredits a scale.
I don't think so.
wanna put one and run conduit and then have to dig through the middle of it in 2 years, cause we're,
Gotta put a new something or other up.
right.
Mhm.
So, and if the new layout says that scale needs to go in the back corner, well, I don't wanna put it in now and have
Have to
the short staff that I have to go back and forth. The scale needs to be,
user
everything
friendly.
needs to be relevant.
Mm.
That's why we
Yeah.
haven't had one yet.
Right.
No, the cost not.
On top of cost. Right. All right.
Thank you, Benji.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
All right. I recognize Clay. For library update.
Hello again. Now, you probably think I'm going to talk about the chimney, but no, because Ryan Gagon said, oh, for the information you need, it's going to take me some time, and I'm overloaded. So we need some more time to provide the information that you requested. So I'm here tonight for an update on this Sawyer Room windows. So here's the story of what's been going on the last few, actually, it's back in February. You approved for funding for the 7 double-hung windows with insulation for the Sawyer room. It was for B.J. Johnson and Son, and the amount was $4,497 from the government building fund, and that passed 500. The competing estimates we received were a bit higher. And so since then, after that, B.J. Johnson, he expressed concern because he thought there might be the presence of lead. And so we paid for Alchemy Lead Management to come out. They came out on April the 24th, and they surveyed the frames and found that, yes, there is lead in several locations. And the report is attached to the second sheet. Long story short, though, she said that the sash pass can still be removed and replaced without risk of contamination. So, okay, upon learning this, however, B.J. Johnson didn't want to do the labor on this. He was concerned about it, but he still wanted to supply the windows. So the windows, the cost for the 7 windows is going to be $3,661. Alchemy Lead Management did suggest that we have AB Construction to provide the labor. He said that it was going to be $2,800, and so he broke down why it's going to be that much. One of the things at the bottom, it says that he recommends removing the storm window and having exterior encapsulation of the lead content, so that's going to be an extra $700. He said it's not essential to do the job, but he recommended it. So that's why. So I'm including that amount in the $2,800. That's why he said. He said old storms can cause damage to the replacement windows. Also, for the abatement aspect, removal is the best way to be able to properly encapsulate the lead paint. After this job is completed, I will ask Alchemy Lead to come back and re-inspect to make sure it's safe. Which she's fine with doing that. So the reason why I'm here is because the new amount is going to be a bit more than what you approved. So we take the 7 windows and then the labor from the AB Construction, the total is $6,461. And so you subtract the amount that you approved on February the 23rd, and that brings us to $1,964 in additional funds that I will need approved in order to complete the job.
Well, I think that the lead is, unfortunately, it's gonna be there in an older building.
It has to be taken care of.
It has to be taken care of, it has to be abated correctly. I think it's unfortunately, yes, it's a little bit more, it's still right in the middle of the other 2 quotes that we received before. I think it's an unnecessary evil that we have to do. It has to be abated, and it has to be abated correctly, so.
I'll make a motion.
You just took my words out of my mouth.
Too bad.
Thank you.
How did you pay for the testing?
Oh, we just paid from our operations budget. It was a
Okay.
couple $100.
All right, no, I just didn't want to forget something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I make a motion, we approve the additional request of $1,964 for the window replacement to be performed by AB Construction, with money to come from the Government Building Maintenance Fund as previously approved on February 23rd, 2022.
Second it. Moved and seconded, all in favor? Yes.
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 Noes? Abstentions?
All right.
Carry
thank
on.
you.
Yeah,
Right, and hopefully I'll be back in the next meeting with an update on the chimney situation.
Awesome.
nice presentation, Clay.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
Very clear.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, Clay.
I'll recognize Chief Moore.
I've only got 3 pages of notes.
I know,
Only?
and 4 lines.
All right, so we will start with the easy one, parking ordinance. I do have hard copies
right.
for everyone.
We like easy.
This came, 10 copies of each, on Selectman Osborne's request that the small area partly paved right around Center Park, I learned that's the name for that park, right off of East Road. We're gonna try to get it approved to use that for handicap parking for the Patriotic Festival. As I looked at the old parking ordinance, it was in need of revision, so I proposed a whole new parking ordinance, but we can still rely on the old parking ordinance with just an amendment to get that approved for handicap parking, whatever.
So this is the amendment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, we're in no rush for the new parking ordinance. It's just something out there that we can get to and possibly get that passed. It'll clean up a whole lot of stuff.
1986, thing as old as I am. I think it's due for some improvements.
Phew.
So I think you have to have,
comment.
you'll have to have a public hearing, just like you're having
Right.
one for the rental ordinance.
Right.
Right, and I have, had, town administrator Bolton plus, Laura Spencer Morgan to review it, and, few concerns which I've addressed, a couple still being resolved.
So this is current, 1986.
That's current.
This is your draft.
Yes, sir.
And this, okay. No, good. Carry on.
And that's all I've got about that.
And where did you get some of this information
All over the
from?
place.
Excellent. Resource.
Mostly just the big cities, looking at theirs, pulling from here and there, combining. It's probably a combination of 4 to 6 different parking ordinances.
Okay.
Stuff I took out and used, stuff I didn't use, stuff I did use.
Okay. And you said that council's already looked at this one and said it will
Yes.
hold legal weight? Okay.
Would it be worthwhile, and only do it once, I'm just saying that, to make that a temporary handicap parking spot for any event? I know we're talking about one event right now, but what if you do something else?
For all events, I mean, any event we have, yeah.
I'm just thinking there's gotta be a place where they can park.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Like Old
I'm just
Home Day
thinking
or-
temporary handicap parking, but leave it, designated for any event.
All events, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's awfully
It's no
vague.
problem for me to bring an amendment here, because what I want is a start and an end time, so we know when to
Okay.
enforce it, which I do have in that amendment.
Right.
Okay.
And I can do that, just piece of cake.
I think opening it to basically no expiration date, I think is,
Okay.
I don't know if it'd be.
Yeah, I just didn't,
Only problem with that, I mean, so does that mean we're gonna put up handicap parking signs? What about the people who live across the street that use that parking? That's my only concern.
It's only through 14 through the 17th.
Well, you just said with no expiration.
No, that was what Naomi was.
no, I
proposing.
was looking at tagging it to save his time to come back.
Right, this is
Okay.
3 days, I think we can handle that.
Oh, no, that's fine, I just don't wanna make this a
Right,
permanent
No.
change to those parking.
but I
spots.
think the chief's idea is to go further down the line and start thinking about this parking ordinance that he drafted.
No, I have no problem with that.
So I guess at this point, I think we should probably move and accept the amendment, the temporary amendment.
With a spelling check.
Oh, no.
Did I misspell something?
Yeah, amendment has one M,
Oh,
but I have one with a fresh one with one M.
southern drawl.
I fixed it for you. With one M.
That's okay.
Hey, that looks better. I'll entertain a
Don't worry
motion.
about that, chief. I'm right with you on this one.
I'll make a motion that we approve the amendment to the parking violation ordinance for temporary handicap parking during July 14th through the 17th.
Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Oh, Steve. Being I'm on the committee.
And you kind of proposed it?
So, just.
I have the
Brian,
copy.
Just one question quick. So, someone mentioned for every, like, if we had another event, like for.
It would have to be a, yeah.
Old Home
We'd have to
Day.
do it, like, if we did, like.
Yeah.
for
We-
every-
Yeah, because you don't
we
know
don't
what,
when
what
these-
dates would be.
But I think the
He'd come
wheels need to
back
start
for-
rolling on this.
Okay,
Yeah, he'd come back, but I
Alright.
think the wheels need to start rolling on this
okay,
as time allows.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, problem we had when we started looking at this one is we don't have a list of approved signs. We would have to go back to individual meetings. So on our end, we've started coordinating a list. Once it's consolidated, I'll bring it to y'all to approve. There's a little bit of background on there of why we need that, but
Mm-hmm.
we're working
Sure.
on it.
Anything jump out in here that we should note in your new ordinance? Anything that's
vastly different than the other
Vastly
one?
different than the
No,
other
nothing
ordinance.
crazy. Obviously, we don't have paid parking. A couple highlights, you can't, really, if somebody wanted to, they could put their car for sale right out here in the parking lot, and we couldn't do anything about it.
There's a sign version
Off the lot. So there's provisions in there to prevent that. They can't park on public ways and advertise vehicles for sale. Tied up some stuff with snow removal.
Yeah, so that would eliminate the people that use the end of Reservoir Drive that sell cars down there at the end of Reservoir and
I haven't
76.
personally seen that, but yes, if they're on a public way, they wouldn't be allowed to park there.
Yeah, well, that's a regular spot for selling cars.
That's all right. We'll give them notice and tell them,
Okay.
once y'all sign that, can't do it anymore.
You're talking right there between Reservoir and 114?
Yeah, where the Poison Center was.
Yeah,
No comment.
3 days ago. All right. So I think you got that one out of the way.
She's not in till Thursday. I'll hand it to her Thursday if
Yeah,
that's
that's
all
no
right.
problem. All right, and also tying into the Patriotic Festival. First year I was here, we used a police vehicle, obviously with maintenance and gas being a concern. I walked the first year. When we got the Tahoe, we put the Tahoe out there just as, showing the taxpayers what they got for their money. My recommendation would be we don't use a vehicle this year, but I'm gonna leave it up to you. A lot of citizens do like to see the police vehicle in the front. I'm also fine with deferring to the American Legion for carrying the flag and letting the flag lead the parade. Kind of just putting it out there to see what you all
There's still gonna
want.
be police presence on the
Yes,
parade.
yeah, we're shutting down, obviously for the parade. We are still waiting on the parade permit. We have to get that for the parade to actually.
So you're just talking about not having a cruiser in the parade?
Correct,
Just at
leading
the
it.
tail end?
Yeah. First year I walked in front of the cruiser and Officer Averill, drove the cruiser behind me.
Driving Miss Daisy?
Right.
Yep.
But, based on the current financial situation, I'd leave the cruiser all the way out unless you, just because of tradition, you want it in the parade.
For what little it is, I have no problem. It's tradition. It's no different than having a fire truck, and it's a short period of time.
Yeah, the fire truck,
It's
ambulances.
not like we're taking it and doing the parade in Manchester or anything
Yeah,
like that.
Chief, I agree with you, John. And I think the kids.
I appreciate the thought and the effort, but in this case,
That's why I'm bringing it to y'all.
it's a community thing.
But I think, and I guess maybe my own take is, walk.
Oh,
Because-
for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind walking.
Okay.
I don't know if we're gonna have enough people
All right.
or.
If we do.
If we do, yeah, I absolutely
Yeah.
don't mind walking.
And the reason, it's facial recognition,
Yeah, sure.
Right. yeah.
Now, you guys do still frown on burnouts, right? Just to clarify, no burnouts?
I'm okay with it.
Checking.
Oh, you're not
No
gonna be in the
burnout.
I don't
parade,
know
though.
anything about what you're talking
All
about.
right, just checking.
Yeah, but it is good PR. I think it's a good.
It's a,
Yeah, I think it's a good. Not
not the burnouts.
Right. Yeah.
You-
I don't know
you-
about that. Can we discuss that?
Well,
We've already
At least at
discussed
the
it.
end.
at least at the end.
All right.
I'm sure a few
That
people.
would
Just give
Can
us
we-
a designated area.
Because I used to do the parade before Amy did, and we always had the Legion and then a police officer
Yeah.
or the cruiser. And then we always had one follow-up, because then you had one at either end.
Right. And that was kind of the thought process if if you got a rocket for a North End call or something like that.
Yep.
There was something, and the ambulance is usually right behind
Right,
the police
exactly.
car, and also the tail end,
Right,
so
so
they
you
can
had
turn
one
around.
at
and-
either end.
Yeah, one at either end. That was kind of all
Make
the
it happen.
thought. Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Cause
No problem.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next topic is radio systems. So we're just, since the vote came out, and obviously the fire department is going to Capital Area Mutual Aid, we haven't heard a lot, so we're just kind of requesting updates on progress. I was speaking to Naomi, last week. She mentioned she reached out to the Motorola Solutions representative and just wasn't receiving response from him.
Two-way,
Two-way.
two-way.
Two-way,
We got
oh.
Motorola, yes.
Motorola, yeah, they've been more than,
And just to let,
Yeah.
and just Chris, if, Two-Way reached out to me today, and he's supposed to be having a Wednesday meeting with his team.
Okay.
He's sick today,
And
so that's why he couldn't get me an answer.
yeah, we recognize that you have, obviously, by your signature line, a lot of on your plate because you keep taking up new jobs as they go vacant. We'll be more than happy to, keep in contact if you want us to start.
Yeah, we're also
pressing that button.
supposed to get that last tranche of money. We We're
Yeah.
hoping by, I think we're supposed to be at it by June. We haven't seen that yet.
Okay. If you want to dump, contacting these guys and staying on top of them, we'd be more than
I'm
happy
not
to do
opposed to that idea,
for you.
taking one thing off your plate.
Yeah. I think as long as you keep everybody CC'd in, I think it'd be good.
Yeah, absolutely. More than
Because,
happy.
I mean, the thought process was two-way was supposed to come out and see what we had, because obviously there was gonna be a long delay, 18 months, 16 months, whatever, even if we pulled the trigger to get any equipment, new equipment on site, so, to see if they could do anything with what we have.
Yeah, I'll just-
And we PO'd 30,000-ish for that, so,
And we're
but-
still waiting on
and we're
that to
still
happen.
waiting there
Still
for that to
waiting.
happen,
Yeah.
so,
But
basically,
there's
it's
been no change in mindset. That money that we're getting from ARPA, $900 thousand, is still
Slated.
earmarked for the radio system. Nothing's
Perfect.
changed.
Yeah, we just. had an
That
interview.
idea hasn't
We're
changed.
just hoping numbers don't increase
Right,
because of
or
things.
decrease.
Yeah, and that's kind of our emphasis, because
Yeah.
we know everything.
Yep.
Our typical ammunition order just went up $1,500 compared to last year, so we know everything's going up.
Right.
So that's
Well,
why, that's what kind of,
my concern is that the stuff's gonna go up and our deposit's gonna go down.
sure.
That's
yeah.
my fear.
Well, seeing as how we're talking about the radios, we approved the gateway to be installed. You guys tried it locally at the police station. Wasn't working worth a darn. I suggested to bring it down to base 100. I
Mm-hmm. Yep.
believe that was in the process.
So we did that. We need another cable. Essentially what it was is they thought we were tying into two lines, and we can't tie into two lines. It has to be one line. So they're ordering a cable that'll go, something like the cable goes to Golfstown, goes to a radio, goes to the communication box.
Yep.
In that order.
Okay.
So that's what we're waiting on. That singular line setup is where we're at now. So
Okay.
one small problem at a time.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure that Band-Aid is still in play.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's still working on being a Band-Aid.
Yep.
It's there and
Yeah.
still.
And we
working on
realize
it.
that's not a solution, it's a Band-Aid and,
Yeah.
at any rate.
So
any-
just-
any
It's the best
communication.
Band-Aid we've come up with, though.
Yeah.
So just where it got left, with me, just so you know, is we've got our numbers from Motorola. We're waiting on our numbers for two-way.
Yep.
Two-way has agreed that DPW can do some of the site work,
Okay.
or most of the site
Tower
work,
digging, et
so
cetera.
we need that number, but the one last number, to pull the trigger, we need to know from Granite State Communication, which I can forward you his email, is he's supposed to get us the reoccurring number, because we have to make sure
Oh, the monthly fee?
the monthly reoccurring fee, so that we know it's not gonna be $100,000 and we don't have it.
For the
Yeah,
fi-
just-
for the
So there's
fiber between the
pieces that
sites.
have to, that's where I'm waiting on two-way and Granite State.
Yeah, just dump it all on us and we'll take it from there and take that one off your plate.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you for that. Next is pistol transition range request. All right, so we completed our weapon transition. That was an end-of-year purchase from last year, from the Glocks to the SIGs with the red dots. Sergeant Frisbee coordinated the transition, did an excellent job. He had to complete additional training on the sighting system to be able to teach it, where he had to go to SIG out there and get trained for a week. Once certified as instructor, he then provided 16 hours of training to each full-time officer. To let you know what that looked like, because we don't have our own range. We had to go to New Boston to train. He had to work each night till 3 a.m., then get up. About 8 was his plan. He went in the corporal's office where there are no windows, but of course, with people coming in 6:45, a lot of noise, he's getting woken up after about 3 hours of sleep, and then go train for, 8 to 9 hours. And then drive back to Nashua. So not exactly an ideal situation, where if we had our own range, it would have been a totally different situation. Just to summarize, to bring us back to the status of our range request, to use DPW, Benji was on board with it. And from what I gathered, it seems to be a bit of confusion. There used to be a citizens committee which was formed when Ware was exploring the option of having a range open to the police department and the public. Many liability concerns with that, obviously. There's no restrictions for having a range just for the police department. According to Primex, no issues, because we're employed by the town, and if we're injured, we're covered by workman's comp. I've been to the site. We have safety procedures we can put in place. I'm comfortable with that location being established as a location. We'll put up signs that can't be used. We'll prosecute people who trespass on that property. We just need approval. Y'all can discuss it, and maybe we can bring it back up in 2 weeks or so, and we really want to get that moving.
That would
instead of
probably
going-
be a good timeline.
Okay.
That,
Perfect.
we should have Benji here for that conversation, because it does
Absolutely.
affect his.
Yep.
So we'll set something up down in the future so you guys can discuss.
I'm not opposed to the idea of reopening the firing range for the PD.
And we'll have exactly what we're gonna do safety-wise laid out so you guys can look at it to make a good decision too. Sound good? Perfect. All right, last one, the DHS agreement, which is the.
Actually, can we go back to the pistol range real quick?
Yep, sure.
Back years ago, before it was closed, there were targets on site already. Resettable, flip targets, things
Yep,
like that.
Steel targets.
Yep. Are they still there?
I believe we have a few of them. I know.
Because I did find a pallet of old targets, steel targets, just sitting out back, all rusted to crap, that were never even used. They were still banded to a pallet. So I know there's stuff just laying out back, but there was stuff that was set up, the resettable steel targets, that I don't know where those ended up.
I know Sergeant Frimsby mentioned we have access to steel targets, a few of them somewhere. I don't know what he was referring to or how many or anything like that.
Okay. Are you looking to purchase any additional?
No.
Okay.
Not at this time. Eventually, as we build into things, yes, because they're different courses we can use. But for instance, the 16 hours of training we just did were all on just the silhouette targets on 2 pieces of wood strapping.
Okay.
And we have 4 to 6 bases, 6 spaces that hold up the strapping.
Okay.
And that's what we use for the entire 16 hours
I
training.
was just curious if there's any additional cost that you guys were anticipating setting this up.
A few $100s will all come out of my budget. For instance, I want a red flag for when the range is active, the no trespassing signs, possibly even a gate going back there so people just can't drive to it. Where obviously DPW would have access and we would have access. But nothing significant.
Okay.
Hey, Chris,
sir.
just because my neighbor, good friend, is Lieutenant Kavanaugh from Deering, Hillsborough, and he mentioned, I knew that, he mentioned anytime you guys want to use the Deering range, you're more than welcome to. They have a nice range.
Right. So we're trying to reduce cost of overtime.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
we can
just-
find ranges outside of town. The problem is we got to bring
Of
everybody
course,
together.
I know we got to fix this problem, but just in the interim, I mentioned it to Naomi, if you guys want to go, they've got a private range. So-
Gotcha.
So it's like, that's what it's dedicated for.
Right. Yeah, sure.
All right, moving on.
All right. Last one is the DHS agreement, which is Division of Highway Safety Grant. So this is an agreement. It was not a contract. I was, of course, aware the board had to approve contracts. The thing about this and why I signed it, and I didn't think it needed board approval, there's no town funds used in it. It's 100% reimbursable from the state. We have no financial contribution. It's for $1,700. Typically, there are 4 target areas, targeting, DUIs. We just did, the one we just did was no texting while driving enforcement, a couple days. It only pays for 4 or 5 shifts. I confirmed it does pay for the officer's overtime, the New Hampshire retirement system contribution, the payroll tax, and the processing fee. So it's 100% paid by the state. There is no town contribution. If we do a good job this year, they'll up it to about $3,500 annually. But obviously, if you monitor social media, you see where citizens obviously have a lot of driving concerns, and we put those areas where the concerns are on where we're enforcing. So it just allows us to go out there and do a little bit of extra traffic enforcement in areas where we might not be able to get to just from handling calls of service. Summarize it good?
Yep.
Well, the reason I had asked, because when we first talked, you said 50% was gonna come out of your overtime budget. That's why I said,
Yeah, that was an error on my part. I thought we had a contribution, but we have no financial contribution. I called and confirmed that. Yeah, because I shut it down when I thought we had a financial contribution, but we don't. I was corrected. Wait.
My opinion on it, even though agreement, contract, to me, it's still the same thing. I'd still prefer that. I would prefer that would come before the board.
And that has been past practice. Anything that's an agreement with any
that was-
outside agency.
That was reiterated, when a conference I went to, it says, what's a contract? It says virtually everything, it doesn't matter what it calls itself. It's
Right.
valid, contract has to have 3 basic elements: competent parties, consideration, and mutual content.
So I could go back to when I was hired where
Mutual
that wasn't
assent.
exactly followed.
It's an MOU.
Well, I was hired under an agreement.
No matter what you call it is.
Yeah.
Just throwing that
Still a
out there.
contract, yeah.
Yeah.
But essentially, what this equates to, it's a detail.
Yeah, and that's,
State paid detail.
And that's-
I mean,
and
and
I
if y'all
have-
wanna approve state paid details, have at it.
yeah,
It's
Bring
not
it
an
in
issue
here.
of not wanting to approve it, it's an issue of notifying and knowing it's happening.
and the funding,
Okay.
and the funding.
Just to make sure, I
Especially
mean,
this year.
you had admitted you had an error with the 50/50.
Yep.
We would like to at least know about that.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the grant from the beginning, and they had Officer Valero did a lot of legwork to
Yeah.
get me on board with this. I think it's a lot of effort, because there's a lot of paperwork involved with grants, reporting requirements, this, that, and the
Oh,
other,
we understand that,
for
absolutely.
$1,800,
Yeah.
you know, of overtime.
But again, if it's targeted enforcement and it works, then it's worth it, I think. So,
No, John makes a good point, and somehow or another, just improving that communication between you and town administrator, you and Naomi, and then getting, collectively, she could be reporting it to us if it doesn't, demand your attendance, but we'd know what's going on, right, ahead of the time, just a little bit, but we definitely have to improve that anyway, so.
From a financial, and it's not so much the micromanaging, it's with finances so freaking tight this year and for, I'm guessing, the next couple of years. It's just gonna be looking at all the pennies, because as it is, we're gonna be looking at it quarterly.
but we'll take the
Right.
money,
Which I get.
Yep.
But like I said, there's no taxpayer input
Exactly.
impact, yeah,
or impact. Yeah,
impact, yeah.
Which is a good thing.
sure.
Yeah.
So,
Especially
I was-
There's
today.
usually nothing for free, though. That's always.
And no town taxpayer impact.
Right.
Like
Not gonna be on the where tax bill.
Oh, so do
You'll
I
s-
have
you'll see it
approval
elsewhere.
to continue
Yes,
with?
you have, do we make a motion?
I
To
believe we do
accept.
because it's a contract.
Do we have the
Or it's
grant,
an
do we have the grant, or the
Agreement,
grant
grant.
name?
Can I ask one other question? I'm sorry, I always slow things down. So, who actually did the physical work on the grant? Like you said, takes a lot of time, so that's.
Valero?
From us, Valero, Officer Valero.
So,
He had experience with it when he was in New Boston. They did a lot of them.
Right, for the-
He contacted Dunbarton. Dunbarton used to
Yeah.
do them. From what I understand, they no longer do them.
so this is done in between, I mean, so there's a cost to that? I mean, how many hours does he have tied up in trying to get the $1,800?
Maybe a couple.
Okay, cool, that's all I want to know.
Yeah.
But again, I think the benefit
Yeah, it's a
is
learning
there,
thing,
yeah.
good.
I
Do
don't
you
have
have it with you?
Yeah, if you want to look at it.
Yeah, see, I don't
Yeah,
have it.
I think we need it to make the motion.
I can send this electronically to everybody too, if y'all want. Up top, agreement.
There it is, right there. I'm gonna move that we allow the chief of police to enter the agreement with the state of New Hampshire, for the Ware Highway Safety Grant, and the grant number is 22-193, for targeted enforcement. The grant limitation is up to $1,700.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Was that 5?
Yes.
Yes.
that was.
Yeah.
Just a formality, chief.
No problem.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep this? Naomi?
Probably wouldn't
I
hurt.
can send electronically too.
Doesn't matter if you want to do that.
I did have one other thing for you while you're here.
Sure.
Is that an extra copy? I mean, I.
Wait.
Yeah, no, I just printed it off. I've got it electronic.
Okay, thank you.
I had a citizen come to me and ask me about police details. What vehicles are you using for the police details? Their concern was they want to make sure that we're not putting brand-new frontline cruisers out there just racking up hours sitting there idling. And their thought, and I kind of agree with it, is use the older rigs to sit there and idle on the side of the road with the lights flashing instead of like the Tahoe or anything like that.
So I like that idea. And I'll tell you where I'd like to get to. Eventually, when we have a full fleet, instead of selling our oldest car, it's,
it.
yeah, kept
Detail.
just for details.
Yep.
Dunbarton does that, Smoking Joe. He has his own assigned,
Is he still running the Crown Vic?
yep, his old, I believe so, right? Yeah. That he takes to Manchester, and he uses it so much on details, it essentially pays for them a new car every year.
Yep.
I'd love to be able to get to that point. Right now, our officers are assigned particular vehicles, so if they're working the detail, they take their particularly assigned vehicle, because they're, it's, obviously, there's high center gravity vehicle, which drives different than the
Yep.
lower vehicle. So you don't want that crossover. So, and let's see, it's McGuire, Muse are the primary on the Tahoe, and they really don't do many details.
Okay.
So the Tahoe's not gonna be out there very much on details
I mean,
regardless.
unfortunately, most of our fleet's frontline, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like we can really decipher.
No, I agree, but
Yeah.
it just look, we just spent all that money on the Tahoe, and here it is just racking up hours on the side of the road, potentially.
It's
And
also earning money to get itself a replacement at
Yep.
$20 an hour. So we're making every $80 every time it goes out there. But it makes more sense to use the 200,000 mile
Years to
than
get
the.
there.
And the
10,000.
50,000.
We're
yeah.
with you there.
Okay.
Eventually, we'd love to get to that point where this is the
maybe,
detail call.
maybe we use Puppy Paw Patrol vehicle,
Which one?
the Paw Patrol vehicle.
Doesn't exactly have the right stuff for the code, so you couldn't.
We could just throw a bubble gum
Yeah,
on
yeah.
top.
Bubble
No,
gum on it? No.
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 All right.
You're not fun.
By law, it counts.
Yeah.
All right, just wanted to bring forward that concern.
Okay. Yeah,
Other than that-
we're in agreement.
I think we're good.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, chief.
Just a fun factor, it'll take you 875 details at $80 an hour to get a new car.
$80 an hour?
At $80 for a detail, it's gonna take you 875 of them to,
So I'm guessing we're
get a new
gonna be
car.
doing probably 100 a year is what I'm thinking.
just food
Roughly.
for thought.
So about 8 years, which is not bad.
For one.
Yes, that's a better, replacement rate than we got going.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, move to the manifest.
That's provided the car stays at 70,000.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Order the treasurer to sign payroll and accounts payables checks dated June 23rd, 2022 is included in the following manifest. The payroll manifest is $70,413.76 for weekly payroll. Accounts payable manifest of $286,923.05. John Stark for $519,516. And Ware School District for $615,670. Why the odd numbers? Final payout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because you had to pay me by the end of June.
Okay. For a total of $1,492,522.81. Following manifests were previously ordered to be signed at the June 6th meeting. Payroll manifest is $71,008.66 for weekly checks dated 6/16. Accounts payable of $26,006.22 for checks dated 6/16. And supplemental accounts payable of $110,008.32 for checks dated 6/16. As there's no meeting, scheduled meeting for Monday, June 27th or July 4th, further order the treasurer to sign payroll checks dated June 30th and July 7th, estimated to be about $160,000. Further order treasurer to sign up to the amount of $180,000 for accounts payables that cannot wait until the next scheduled meeting. Reports and actual check amounts will be reported to the board of selectmen by inclusion in the manifest memo at the next scheduled meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
And we have no minutes.
No, I just wanted to, we'll probably have some meetings in between, but.
Yes, yeah.
I wasn't here, so she went ahead with the other meetings.
But I
just
don't
in-
think we're gonna have any meetings that will
Right,
constitute.
I just, exactly.
Right, okay. So that brings us
It's already
to,
4th of July, can you believe that?
already.
Years have gone.
Yeah, brings us to the.
So what I'm gonna just hand you down is, the rental draft ordinance. You guys all wanted one, I just gave you a hard copy versus electronic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that meeting is Thursday night.
7 o'clock at the middle school?
Yes, I had a question asked of me, do you want me to see if, do you feel the need to have town council there? I was asked that question.
So all we're doing is taking public comment, and we're not answering, and we're not voting on anything, is that correct?
I thought the intent was, because you have to do something before July 1st, so that was the intent.
Well, I think we probably need to have a discussion then. Because it was my understanding that the meeting this Thursday is just to listen to public comment. I didn't realize we had a July 1st deadline
Well,
of
I
having
thought
to
that
make
was explained at the beginning, but let me look.
I may have misunderstood then.
When you were running out.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's probably, where it was a House Bill.
What time is it? Thursday?
7.
I have a planning,
No,
oh, it's
we have a site walk if you're gonna go. Yeah, for some reason, it was part of the House Bill that if you were going to, it was okay to adopt an ordinance based on exactly how we have, not based on other things. I don't have my emails right here.
I mean, we're kind of jumping around here, but, I mean, I believe Selectman Hippler and I were gonna bring this up anyway. There was a request by a resident to make this ordinance go before the voters at the March meeting.
In the past, any changes to zoning ordinances, planning board articles, and even most recent, the noise ordinance, which unfortunately didn't make it there, fortunately or unfortunately, to the body, they were all destined to there. Whether it's changes to the ordinances, et cetera, it's the body that makes the changes. I can't really remember this board, maybe I just have some timers.
We just talked about doing a new parking one. That's gonna go to
Correct.
town meeting too?
Well, that's modifying an existing one, isn't it?
No, he's rewriting it completely.
But there's already
But
an
there's already one on
existing one
file.
on.
So it's,
Well, it went down that path to go to town meeting, and it
Yeah.
was stopped from town council and said it could be adopted here. Because it doesn't belong in zoning.
correct. I'm not disagreeing where it belongs.
Because they spent a whole year doing it, you know. I'm not here to talk you into anything, I'm just here to,
Again,
it's
I'm
within your,
reserved.
it's within your right.
It's within our right,
Right.
but whether that's the practice this board wants to take or not is a different subject. That was the only question.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it's just my understanding, and it sounds like I was wrong. I thought it was just, we were listening to public comment, and I didn't realize we were gonna be, being expected to take action on this on Thursday.
Well, that was kind of my thought too. I didn't know that was the,
No,
and the
well-
reason I say it is because usually when we have a public hearing, we have time to digest it afterwards. The input that was done, if we're gonna make any alterations as the board.
Yeah, so I guess I'm looking at the amended Senate Bill 249, and it basically allows you to adopt an ordinance requiring owner of residential property who wishes to utilize it for rental within 30 days of advertising. So it goes down through all of the particulars that this one lays out, and the amendment takes effect July 1st. So the amendment is to allow us to adopt, so the July 1st is when it takes effect, so that was my mistake.
So July
So
1st
you
is.
have time to digest it.
Okay, all right, that's good. So after July 1st, basically, it's an open window, timeline-wise, of when you
Right,
can
you
adopt
can
it.
do it, this takes effect and hasn't been changed to my knowledge.
Okay.
So that just gives us the permission to enact it after July 1st, if we choose to as a
Yeah,
board.
That's the way I interpret it, yeah.
Yeah.
So going back to Naomi's original question, do we want town council there Thursday night? If all we're doing is listening and taking opinions, I'm not sure,
I'm not sure it would be,
unless the general public's gonna have questions that,
Which
Are
they,
legal.
I think they will, because they're gonna, and this is my part, she's the one who actually drafted what you saw,
okay.
was this here with Bruce's hen scratch.
Yeah.
As a result of all the planning board meetings, they met with her to come up with this.
Uh-huh.
And then he tweaked it after meeting with the fire chief.
So what do you, what's
So,
the board,
I don't know that there will or won't, I've been asked if she's gonna be there.
what's
I
the
didn't
board's
reply.
consensus feelings that we may be inundated with legal questions?
even if there's a couple, when are we gonna have a chance to get those answers back to them? Having her there at that time, I think would,
I think it would be.
the cost would be there, but I think the pros outweigh the cons, the
Yeah, so
cost.
do I, John, especially, I mean, even
Yeah.
the comment you made, like, is it potentially, is this overreach in some way?
I still have that concern.
I know you
Yep.
do, but that would be something that could be addressed right there, that no,
Right.
this falls, just like Naomi just said, we have the authority to be able to do this, where we had the
Yeah.
question, can we rewrite this ordinance? So, no, I think of all the times we've said we're gonna reach out to her. I think this one's probably the most important
This
one.
probably, this probably would be appropriate.
I don't know that she's available, I'm just asking.
Oh,
I
yeah.
came
Yeah.
here first, I
Yeah.
got
Oh,
the
yeah,
email.
I would say we can ask, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be.
So if she's
prudent.
available, it would be okay,
I think it'd be
think so.
prudent, yeah.
right?
Well, then how are we within our budget?
I haven't-
Legal wise, we're probably
I-
pretty good, aren't we?
I don't think we'd be getting our next report till next,
You won't
our
be,
next
yeah, I
meeting.
was gonna say your next meeting.
She just, I
Next
know,
meeting, yeah.
has her kind of finger on that
Oh.
pulse, how much she's.
Yeah, I don't really think it's been that bad.
No, not this
Good.
year. Not like years past. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
that's good. Well, it just
So,
helps make
so
the
you
decision.
all remember, we're going over there
Yeah.
on Thursday?
Cafe.
Okay,
7
and,
o'clock.
and I'm hoping, I haven't got it yet, we are gonna have it live streamed,
Okay.
cause we had asked about it, cause we don't have a room big enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have the gentleman for the 4 hours,
Okay.
if we need it to live stream, I don't think it'll be that bad.
4 hours?
John, you look excited.
I feel COVID coming on.
Getting sick.
Yeah. So joint loss, as the 13th is their next meeting. Radio communication, I will forward to Chief Moore, kind of the two that I got today. We haven't done anything with contract cemetery. Asbestos testing, I did get a price, but we've been back and forth, but I'm not gonna worry about Buzzell Hill right now. The conservation did give me the green light on theirs to get that started. So the asbestos testing, the only one I was gonna bring you to is Buzzell Hill because they're paying for the other one anyway.
Okay.
Bridge you heard tonight, draft I talked to you about. The driveway bond policy, I haven't sat down, I still got a couple more things to get done here for a few weeks.
Can I ask a question? Now, wait, the
Sure.
Francistown Garnet property, is it Garnet? Old Francistown, right?
I haven't done anything with them.
Well, there isn't
but you-
something you supposed.
No, I need to put it to my list or I forget it.
Well, but I also believe that, we've talked about that 3 times, and I think it's back into DBW's court to get you the answer.
Well, I think we were gonna,
Reach out to Randy.
we were gonna
and-
reach out to Randy or somebody that would have been there
Well,
at the road
I think
recreation.
Randy and probably Ben would have been over there, because
Yeah.
that was when, what's his name was here.
Yeah, Tim.
We set a date for June 14th to try to have one of those guys give us some sort of feedback so we can,
Mm-hmm.
I think just out of common courtesy,
Mhm.
get something back to them.
I mean, I can try, Randy,
Yeah.
but, Benji's already, given his opinion before.
Right.
Randy would be my next guess.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
He would've been
There's
the greater
nothing else,
operator.
it's just. was
Yeah,
on
because
my
he was the
list.
grader operator, and he went that way, but that's always been pavement for, I can remember.
Right, as
And
long
when-
as I can remember.
And when they redid,
Riding with the on the bus.
when they redid that road, trying to think of who, I'm thinking that Ben was doing the ditching when they were grinding that.
He was probably the equipment operator at the time.
Was
Well,
that
yeah.
Tim or was that, was
No,
that,
No, Carl? No.
yeah.
It wa- it
No,
would've been
no,
Tim when that
it was
was
Tim,
redone.
it was Tim Redmond, I know it was,
Yeah.
because I went down through there with the car one day and got partway down and
Tim
realized
didn't
it.
even stay long with us. Tim only stayed a few years.
couple of years, yeah. Are you sure it wasn't Carl?
No, it was Tim Redmond, I know it was.
Pretty sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure Tim.
I'm
It
pretty sure
was.
Tim. I think he was here for what,
I
5 or
talked to
7
him,
years.
I know, I remember
Tim?
going down
Tim
there.
was
They-
there
They were
5 or 7
grinding.
years.
Yep.
6, something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
I still have,
but anyway,
I might have his phone number too.
all right. Wouldn't hurt.
I haven't done anything more with the buildings
Okay.
as well either.
And Riverdale looks like it's
I'm waiting,
Ready to go.
yeah, I'm waiting on, I did notify the gentleman for the ACs. He gave me some references, but no one answers their cell phone, they didn't call me back. I'll
Sure.
try them again, his insurance came out fine, his insurance is here. But I just need to get to the 2 references, which I have left messages.
okay.
I don't imagine it'll be a problem, they were just, seemed very straightforward. He's the gentleman that brought the Mitsubishi ref with him,
Mm-hmm.
so I think there was
There was a
a
tie
lot
there.
of sizing and a lot of time spent, so.
Yeah.
I'll let you know, the anticipation was to get started July 4th, but we'll be
Okay.
seeing each other probably in between anyway.
Thankfully, it's been cool.
Ish.
Yeah, it hasn't been bad,
No.
is what it is.
On your report number 9, I had a conversation, unrelated, with Selectman Cushman last
Selectman
week. Representative,
Good.
whatever she is. And I did offer her an invite to come in and speak, and she would love to. So she's gonna let either myself or town administrator know what her schedule is and brief us of what's going on.
In the big house?
Yep.
Well, that's because everybody had to sign up again.
Yep.
Because the election in September's around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Midterms.
elections, I think they're in the middle of a lull right now, or I think
Probably.
they're
Applause.
in a pause right now, which would be a good time.
Yep.
I haven't had time to keep up with, a few of them I did keep up with, but
Mhm.
all of them are
And
just.
it's been very quiet from our representatives, with the exception of one.
One is ill, so
Yep.
he's not gonna rerun.
No, what was her name that sent over? It was a brief update.
Ruby?
Yes.
Yeah, she's our senator.
Yep.
These guys are reps.
Yep.
Reps.
Yeah.
Town reps.
And it starts at the reps and goes to the senators and then to the governor, so.
Right.
Yep. And our reps are, is
Um,
Keith Erf still?
Yep, Keith is still on,
Leah?
Leah and
Gary.
Gary Hopper.
Yep, and Gary Hopper is
He
not
probably
doing
won't
well
be
at the
signing
moment.
up.
Yep.
There'll be a whole new field.
I believe, I've heard he is gonna sign up again.
Is he? Okay.
Yep.
I haven't
Good
seen.
for him.
I didn't see everybody. Maureen had him sign up till the 10th. I do have one other that's not on the list. You guys appoint the trustees, the alternate trustees to the library,
Oh, okay.
okay, per the RSA. Helene, is on there. There's 2 new ones. They can have up to 3. And there's a Joshua Dick and a Hannah Schofield that they've asked to fill the 2 remaining alternate positions on the trustees. I got a letter from Mark Carey, the chairman.
That requires a motion, I'm
Yes,
assuming.
because it's up to the selectmen to appoint the alternates, even though the rest of them are taken up
By,
at the ballot, at the ballot.
oh, at the ballot, that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
They're alternate trustees.
While everybody's perusing that, Selectman Cahill had sent out an email, and part of that email was requesting an update over I don't want to call it inspection, I stopped at the Chase Park.
Okay, yeah, like I said, it was in passing, a person thought we might be cutting the hours, and your name came up as you had done an inspection, and.
It wasn't an inspection, it was one of the opening weekends, and I was driving by, I figured I'd stop by, see how it was going. When I was there that morning, it was some boaters, and I don't think there was anybody on the beach. The park looked good, no complaints there. There was a couple of minor things that I addressed with Parks and Rec, and those were taken care of, or in the process of being taken care of. But there was no problems over there.
Yeah, I live right up the road, so that's why it's like Horace Lake, and we're closely associated, okay? for a number of
Guilty by association?
Yeah, exactly. So anything that happens over that neck of the woods, someone grab me, John. So, yeah, good. I'm glad it.
Seeing as how I'm doing park updates, skate park has started having some of the features that were the voters approved in the March ballot installed. And they're also they've also quoted to repair the existing structures that are repairable and remove what is not repairable due to safety concerns. So they're still working on that. And there was an email sent out, I don't know if Naomi got it, but the tennis court, as of right now, is scheduled to be resurfaced the last week in July, but obviously that's subject to change due to weather.
Cool.
Cool.
That's good. I was worried that was gonna get kicked back, like everything.
The last week you said in July?
Last week in July, I'll forward that to you, just so you have record of it.
Okay. Well, that's something.
Are we supposed to act on that?
Yeah, we're gonna make a motion. I'll move to, appoint, what's the term?
one year at a time.
To appoint Josh Dick and Hannah Schofield as library trustee alternates for the term of 1 year.
Can I just ask you?
Do we have
I
to
don't
do
think
Helene also?
I think Helene hasn't been appointed for a couple of years. I think you need to include Helene to make it.
Well, it said that she is current.
Right, but we never appointed her
Never
last year.
We didn't appoint her last
I'd
year.
add that too.
Okay.
Self-appointed.
All right, so then I'll add Helene Kirk to the list.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
yes.
Yes.
Abstentions? Noes?
So, so we have one burial on Saturday,
This coming Saturday?
this
How did
coming
that go?
Saturday. Actually, Kevin did a nice job. Kevin went over on Friday, and Kevin had put down a, I don't know, cover that covered he dug on Friday.
Yeah.
And put down the cover on Friday. And then, did you see it?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then he went back Saturday morning before the, ceremony and before they got there.
My wife had that.
Yeah, that
That's-
was really nice though.
Yeah, just like-
And then it, I guess, went off without a hitch, so,
yeah.
Good.
So, just to let you guys know, when you dig them, I was talking to Lieutenant Kavanaugh up in Deering and told him that I was headed that way. And I said, I really don't know what I'm doing. Well, he turned me on to one of the members of the trustees of the cemeteries in Hillsborough, and he called her on the phone, and she's the one that explained to me that we have to have a cover over it for liability reasons.
Yeah, so somebody steps in it.
Fall in it.
Yeah, when
Break a leg.
Right.
And she also mentioned that they remove the dirt, take it to a
Separate area?
Yeah, so, again, I wasn't, so we need a wheelbarrow, you need a shovel, and you need a cover. So, those things we hadn't talked about when we did.
Okay.
Well, it makes me wonder if that garage shed
Well,
thing
that's- yeah.
is, if there's stuff in there that I
Well,
think we need to,
That's why
break
I
open
was
to that.
asking, because I'm looking at my rearview mirrors, I'm sitting there, I'm going, everything I
There's a
just
shed there.
brought here is probably sitting in that building.
Yeah.
it's just a padlock on it?
Yeah, on the door.
I'd say let's go ahead and let's
Well,
dispose
I
of
could
the
well,
padlock.
let me ask the previous one if
Yep.
she's got a key.
Yeah, yeah,
Because you're right, it's probably everything you needed in there.
yeah. As long as it's not personally owned, then, yeah.
Yep.
If it's town owned, or if the town has to purchase some
And it's
stuff.
on the in the East Ware one, right, straight
You
ahead?
just back,
Yeah.
the road we walked into the
Yeah.
Okay.
site, you just back right, the road goes right to the door, so.
So, this Saturday, the service is at 10 a.m. And it's for Susan Flint, which is at the Russell Flint one.
Okay, yeah,
That's the one almost near the flagpole that you guys.
Yeah.
yep. Yeah,
So that's at 10 o'clock, so I'm not sure which one,
Who has that one?
that one.
You did such a good job on the last one.
No, John, you're not, no, I'm telling you, it is a very awkward situation, and I knew the family, and it was awkward, and I almost wonder if it's not, somehow or another, we should find someone to take care of that task, but.
I mean, I
in
think,
the short term.
and John had suggested, John Osborne, that he's sure there's a fee. And I think I should reach out to, I'm just gonna do French and Rising to see, because I think when the funeral home takes care of it, there's, they probably pay the people to do it.
mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, is this one, this is another
They're all cremation.
cremation, that's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Just to let you know, the crypt or the canister was actually 18 inches tall.
Oh,
So you had to go
So
down
the
to
whole, so I dug the hole 26 inches, but that only gave me a few inches of cover, so I
Huh.
had to pull it back out.
go
And-
down a little further.
Yeah. So keep that in mind of what they show up with.
You-
But
Sunday, I had a visitor come to the house, and lo and behold, we couldn't find 2 caskets there. We only found one, right?
Yeah.
It's because one of them was cremated. That's why you couldn't find 2 caskets.
When we thought that might be possible.
Naomi, real quick, on the Bob Brown and Vicky Brown,
Yeah,
we do need to change that dimension.
yeah, you said
Yeah,
that.
3'6". We didn't account for a headstone.
Oh, okay. All right, it makes sense.
I got thinking about that. It should be 3'6" by 3'6" by 2 in the middle. So 3'6", 2, 3'6".
Yeah, 2 foot between, 3'6", 3'6"
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
points,
yeah.
okay.
That'll, from the corners. And that'll give us room to put the headstone,
Okay.
even
Mhm.
Bert and Janet's.
Yep.
Well,
All right,
Rick,
so I
if
just
you
need to
end up
know-
digging- or whoever ends up doing Saturday, if the board's sitting up in the open bay garage at the farm, you can just stop and grab it.
Oh, the cover board?
Yeah, or you gotta make one.
Feel like digging?
Nope, I'm not in town.
Feel like digging?
I'll probably be in Handicapped cemeteries mowing.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not
That
digging,
leaves
don't
two.
even ask.
Oh, show me how it's done?
No. Well, Saturday, I probably.
Saturday at 10, so
yeah,
typically
I'm
Friday, I
mowing.
mean, he does.
Yeah, I'll come help you.
All right.
I mean.
Or Friday night?
Yeah, I think I'm mowing Saturday, I'll be tending, so.
I mean, I can attend it. It's not a big deal to me to be
Yeah,
there.
you gotta sit there.
It's just the
Yeah,
digging
yeah,
part
the
that's,
Yes,
yeah.
and so the other thing, do you have the certificate they gave you?
I already gave it to Maureen.
Okay, all right, because they are gonna give you
A
one.
certificate, right.
Yeah, they already gave me a picture, but they're gonna bring the original to you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And then this one here, I'll wait until this occurs. This is the July 9th one.
July 9th.
Yeah. I
And
just
then-
swung by and put it in the clerk
Okay.
mailbox on my way out, so I
Okay.
wouldn't
Yeah.
have it sitting in the.
Can we see if we can get some solidity on that, on what's in that
Yeah.
shed there? And maybe we won't have to carry anything down there. Maybe it's all be in that shed,
Yeah, it'd be great if it is.
if it is, yeah.
If it isn't, yeah, bring a wheelbarrow.
We'll
and
bring a
shovel
wheelbarrow and
and-
shovel and, right,
I just stuck the wheelbarrow in the woods for the night, and
right,
I brought a handful of grass seed too.
just a, yeah.
I'm asking.
So you wanna do it, you wanna dig it Friday evening?
Yeah, probably when I get home from work,
Just in case you run into problems.
yes. We'll be on our own.
I did that one time.
It's fairly.
Dug in the morning of,
Dug it in the morning of, boy,
won't do that again?
I was still there when they came.
Oh, no. Oh, no, I don't wanna do
I
that.
said,
That'd be awkward.
Yeah, yeah, that would be, yeah. Give me 5.
that's about it.
All right, I
You know,
sent it.
you
an
feel about,
email.
yeah, hi.
I
Yeah.
just announced her.
Okay,
I sent a text, but.
okay.
Naomi,
Yeah.
can you
Yeah.
copy those? This
So that's all I had. Sherry's got a couple things.
Yeah, there's 3 things, but I didn't have a chance, I came in so late, I didn't dare stop out there to copy. And I couldn't remember if it was face down or face up when you put it,
No, it's face up.
okay.
You want double-sided?
No, I don't think they're all single.
Oh, do you want them double-sided?
What are those?
Oh, you could, I guess, yeah. Those are like, in a review to assess people when they
Oh,
have a job.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, it's just a couple I grabbed off the
Mhm.
thing that
Is there any other ex officio updates? And I've been the only one that's been giving updates, and there's other ex officios on this board.
Of course there is.
the planning board did approve the corrections down there at the Dollar General store.
What corrections?
The coloring, they had not put the right colors on. So
Okay.
they've changed that, and they've put in some of those cement pieces, so you can't drive around to
Oh,
get on the artesian well, or
Oh, the bollards or whatever
Yeah.
there, yep.
or the propane tank.
Okay.
So that's all been completed now. I think they're,
So they pretty much all
Yeah.
set?
yeah.
Okay. That's good.
And then we'll do I won't probably be going because I believe it's Thursday night. I don't have my iPad with me, but there's a walk over to the storage unit over on Sugar Hill Thursday night.
Sugar Hill has a storage
Yeah.
unit?
Yeah, right there before you get, you know where the horses are? On the other side of
Oh,
the road, right there, there's
yeah.
a storage unit in
Yeah, the one
there.
that's down the hill.
They
Yep.
want to add some buildings.
Oh,
One right next to,
Route 77.
yeah,
Yeah, Route
77 Motors.
77, yeah, just
Okay.
below it, yeah,
Yeah.
if you're going toward Concord.
I'm
Those
thinking
are the
Sugar Hill
originals?
Road.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
I don't remember seeing one there.
I was scanning
It's
it.
kind of tucked in there, you don't think much about it, yeah.
Keep that.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. How did I only end up with? All right, that's Ricky's. Kevin, I didn't make myself one, but, yes, I did. And then there's, so that's one, and then these together, if you wanna send them down, it's two different ones.
Two different ones.
Those go to Kevin, John, and Rick. You have the originals ones behind there, John and me.
So the first one is one that I typed up from some stuff that I'd done when I was working.
This one.
This one, yeah. So it's just an overview. It gives an overview of the ratings. It goes through the technical competency and interpersonal skills.
It looks very generic. Was that the intention?
That's the,
So it could just apply to any,
yeah,
any? Okay.
yeah. I didn't want to put it to a certain job because, you know, you're gonna probably tweak it to any job given. And then the other thing we always did up there was, we always let the employee comment. So if they had any issues, they could comment on the bottom of the review. And then the other two I just took off the internet, and they're kind of fuzzy because I had to blow them up. They were smaller, but, you know, it just is a general one. The only thing that I don't like about this one is there's no room for any comments. I mean, this one might work well, but,
If you could break it and put
well,
comments.
you can't break it. You'd have to redo it, type it, but.
Right.
If you could just leave 3 or 4 lines in between each one. So,
Well, I do, like, with that amendment to this one, the box style one, I do like that. Like you said, if you could break them out
yeah,
a
you
little
could
bit.
break it out,
And put a value-add comment or just comments.
right.
There's some, like, 3 lines below
Yeah,
each box.
Correct, yeah, 3 or 4 lines below each box,
that's
yeah.
what- Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Because I think that gives you a pretty good synopsis on,
So this,
I'm just wondering, we have vastly different departments.
yeah.
I think they're gonna tweak it a little bit.
That's what I'm wondering is, should maybe we just ask the different department heads to come up with their own? They're gonna know what they're judging their employees on better than just a generic form.
Well, and I'm not disagreeing with that, but if we put something together, say like this, with the 4 lines, and we give it to department heads and say, listen, this is a good template,
Yes.
add as you see fit for your department.
Right,
you know.
because different jobs, we're not
And
gonna.
I'm not saying, and, you know, this could be the boilerplate in the front, and page 2 could be applicable
Yeah,
to
because I'm
to
just
the
thinking-
department.
Right,
Fire department and police department, quantity of work. That doesn't really apply, because you're not judging them on how many stops they're making or how many lives they're
Heard
saving.
850 details.
That was, yeah.
That's quantity.
Yeah.
But no, I know what you mean. But again, and that may not fit, and that may be X'd out, and it'd be easy enough just to delete it out and
Yeah,
move
what's,
it to.
But yeah, I don't think there's really a
Just right up
boilerplate
above
one
it,
we can use for
NA.
the entire town hall employees.
Right.
yeah, what's that?
Just
Oh,
because
no,
it's
no.
so,
Well, that, and
They
like John
vary
just,
so much.
like John just said, you could put another box underneath unacceptable that says NA,
yep.
right?
right,
Because that one wouldn't be, you know.
right.
But again, have a page 2 of
Yep.
department specific stuff.
Civic stuff, right, that's what I.
Kind of like
think.
what you did with this one.
Yeah.
Make it department specific.
Right, yeah,
But give them a good boilerplate to start with, and then add to their own.
yeah.
so this is similar to what you have here, right
Right.
now.
Right now. I can say that looks familiar.
Everyone
Yeah,
has a comment, and I think that's where things got bogged down, because do you have to make a comment?
You don't have to.
And that's
I
what
thi-
everybody
I think
was trying to
that should be at
do.
the top is comments are optional.
So what I like this one, this is my personal opinion,
yeah,
captured with a nice commentary.
right,
I think you could capture a lot of the goods, bads, and
Uglies.
whatever in a narrative.
right.
Instead of saying, okay, quality of work is
Have all 3
is-
together.
is very good, and why is it very good? And I think there's compelling to somebody to write a comment. It
Right.
just takes a long,
Takes a long time.
it fills, and that's what we have now. So just to let you know, the tools are shovels and wheelbarrow.
That are in that shed.
Yeah, and maybe a rack. So I just asked,
The key.
I'm gonna have to, she thinks she gave it to Karen, I have Karen's ring upstairs,
Okay.
so.
Okay.
If not, a
That's good
padlock's not
news.
horribly
Well,
expensive.
that's good news for everybody then.
Yeah, it is.
So I'll just leave the cover in there.
Well, I just asked,
would work.
I asked if there was something that was used.
Well,
to cover.
I'd rather go down there prepared than not.
Yeah, no, I'm just waiting, yeah,
My-
just,
my- With our luck, there's gonna be a flat tire on the wheelbarrow.
So, most times, at least the evaluations that I always did, I mean, you have the generic form, more or less, you get that, and then it enters into a conversation.
Yeah.
Conversation ends up into the notes, and then into the employee file. That's how we're doing it.
Yeah, when I do mine at work, it's kind of a this section, and on the other side, it's the
Narrative.
What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? How can you improve? And that's where the narrative is. And like you
And
said,
then do you
that's where the
sign it?
conversation is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Signature at the bottom.
So when these are done, so when are these gonna be done? On the employee's anniversary, or are we gonna have them as set calendar?
Well, I think that would be great in the private sector, but I think the public sector revolves around
A certain
the
day?
town vote.
Okay,
So I think that it would be right after town vote.
So is the intention, I hope, that we're gonna see these and review them? Or or this is all all academic and we're just doing this because to do it, and I'm not for that. If we're going through all the effort and asking the department has to put forth all this stuff, and we decide that we are gonna put together a warrant article, ask for argument's sake, we're not doing this, but a 3% raise, and it's gonna go into a pool, and we have to figure out of that pool who gets
gets
what.
what.
What are we gonna go
Yeah,
based
these
off
are
of?
critical.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. So I'm
absolutely.
hoping that we're actually gonna review these at a board level. Whether I'm here or not, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what the voters have to say.
So you have committed to it.
No, I should be committed, but no.
I think what you were saying, use the back of this one and combine it.
Similar, yes, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Sherry gets that
That
idea.
would pretty
Yeah,
well,
there's-
that would pretty well cover
Well, there was,
everything.
like you said, there's like 4 questions on the one that I complete is, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses?
Right.
What are you doing to improve? Any additional comments? And then a signature line at the bottom of evaluator and employee.
So it has value on the assessment if there's gonna be a pay raise, but it also this creates a track record.
Right,
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So we
The
can.
paper trail of, if there is a problem,
Yes.
now
that
we
don't-
have
and which
documentation.
It's been
don't-
documented.
see,
and we
this
don't-
one gives you,
We don't have that now.
this one gives you like attendance, and what they're looking for is the faithfulness to coming to work daily and conforming to the work schedule, and then you decide from the definition what that is. That's what
Right,
you're-
and it gives you,
This one is much, I never liked this one.
no, I
No,
like
no,
You
I
feel
didn't either.
compelled
to
to put
comment
a
on every
comment
line,
on why somebody's very good, why marginal, you know.
on every line, where
on every
that
line.
one, and then like I said, a page 2 of
And then you
similar to what I
you
have.
put the, a review, and like you said, there can be comments.
I can send you, I think I have it in my email, I can send you the page 2
Well,
of
even-
ours, how it breaks it
Well,
down.
no, I'm just saying, you can sit down with them, and this is my thought, you sit down and go over this, and you make some comments, there's a comment section, right?
Right,
And then you make your notes or whatever, and then, this comment, and then they have an opportunity, you both sign it, and they have an opportunity to write things down.
See, and
If
that's,
we do the lines at the end of each box where it just says comment, just put at the end of it in parentheses, optional. You don't have to put anything.
right,
This way you can comment on that specific box instead of having to go back
Should-
paragraph by paragraph.
Right.
should we give the employee the option to, chance to do a self-review
well,
on
there
the
is,
same document?
there is here. Employees' comments.
Right.
can write down what he feels.
But do a self-review before they come in for the
You do a
the
self-review, it's always fascinating.
the supervisor's review.
Yeah, it's kind of a waste.
And,
'cause-
well, the thing is
I think.
to me, it sees if,
It lets them look at themselves.
well,
Well, they
it-
may think they're
they-
doing a good job when they're really not.
they know where they're gonna be, they know what they're gonna be judged on when it comes to, when it comes to the review. And when you sit down and you have theirs and you have, supervisors,
I think it's a good idea
and
because
you compare notes and you go, you were at the, I'm just trying to find which copy it is here. You were at the exceeds expectations for attendance. We were you meet expectations because you were late on XYZ days.
Yep.
And this is why we gave you this. And that also flowers conversation in that topic as
It'll also
well.
tell you if they're doing their own eval, it's gonna tell you if they have a
Their integrity.
wildly different idea of how they're doing versus what their supervisor thinks they're
Right.
doing, and maybe we need to have a discussion.
I would
So-
like to hope that they're not here and we're there every time.
No, you should
But
be.
if we're close, then I think I think the self-review is a decent tool.
Yeah.
We're gonna use the same form.
The same form. It would be the same exact
Yeah,
form.
that's fine, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's easy.
I'm okay with that.
And then put the two next to each other and with them, this is where you're at, this is where we're at, we agree.
Well,
I know I
also, if
hated it
you
when I had
give
to do
them-
it, but it was.
If
it
you
was
give
helpful.
them this, I think it makes a better conversation than waiting for them to read it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, and they have
Gets
some
to the
time to think
point.
about it, they have some time to write down their own comments, hey, this is what I think I'm proficient at, this is what I think I'm struggling at, and and then the supervisor does it, and you say, yeah, I agree, and this is how we're gonna correct it.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
Sherry, are you good with finalizing this?
Yeah, I guess as long as I'm sure what you want here, so.
Well, what I can do is I can send you our page two,
Okay.
which is the, your strengths, your weaknesses, et cetera, and the two signature lines at the bottom.
Cool.
And then that way there, you can probably just, like I said, if you can find that, clean it up, and then put the two together.
Yeah,
So this would be page one with the
Yep.
logo at the top,
Yep.
and then whatever your page two says.
whatever
Exactly,
page two.
perfect. And you
And then
wanna
we'll-
set, you wanna set a date for these to be done on April 1st? The first week of April?
So, so let me just,
I'll do
let me
it for
back up
that.
for 1 second. If you're going to put together a warrant article for this coming, your warrant articles start in the fall.
Right.
So we have
I
to.
think it used to
like,
be October 1st.
Thought it was November,
Yeah, either October or November,
because you're just starting to develop the budget,
yes.
and you can only change the budget until the end of January.
So is the plan, so is the plan to have, well, what I'm asking is the plan to have the pool of evals and for us as a board to agree, yes, full rate,
So.
whatever,
So
and then
the-
come up with a number.
So, right, so this is my thought, you can come up with a percentage,
Mhm.
and how it's distributed doesn't happen until after town meeting.
Right.
Correct.
So these could be done, yes, but you'd have to come up with a pool and a deadline so that we could have these done.
That
And
would
then
be my
you guys
question.
distribute the pool.
That was my question, is how
Yes.
the pool was
Yeah,
calculated.
so
and
Kevin's
distributed.
right, April 1st is when they start distributing it, we could probably look at it right after town meeting, because there's 3 weeks of lull time,
Yeah,
you know, and
just-
then you
When do
would
we
know
wanna
if
have the
it's a-
department heads get this done, though, is, I think, the question
Yeah,
on the
that is,
table.
I just want, what I don't wanna do is walk away today without a
Correct.
date.
Yeah,
I think having these by March 1st would be
perfect.
beneficial, because this way,
Doesn't matter
yeah,
to
because
me.
you're gonna
comes-
come up with a percentage, and then you'd have them looked at, you
Yeah.
guys can look at
and then
them.
the next
Right.
meeting,
We decide.
you decide, because
So they're gonna do the reviews once a year, so maybe they wanna start working on them in January.
Yeah.
Because like,
Possible.
well, think about it, because like highway, if they're out on storms over and over and
Yeah.
over again, it might be
Yeah,
hard
they
to,
just
for them
need
to get through
they
it.
just need to know what the.
So you got a couple,
excuse me,
2-3
but
weeks
what
to
the
get it
drop
done.
dead date is,
Mhm.
to have them done. And then-
Yeah.
So by March 1st, done for you guys.
Yeah.
have all the evals from all the department heads into you by March 1st.
Okay, I'm just gonna let you know that the PD does their own, it's very detailed, it's very,
It would have to be almost.
yes, it's
Well-
very detailed, and
But
we
they're-
don't ever see them.
They're kinda outside of this, though,
They're
that,
collective bargaining, that's why.
they're CBA, so they're outside of
So
this.
they're not
What
part
about
of the pool.
What about fire? They're outside of our department too. They have their own board that they report to.
But they receive the same 3%
Yeah.
that everybody else does, so
We
they would have to be included, I think.
So-
The Board of Fire would have to be included in this.
So how does it work at the Board of Fireworks? Because both of you have been on the Board of Fireworks before. When it comes to the raise, do you?
We never discussed it, not that I remember.
It was just flat across the board and that was it.
Correct.
So,
And that's theirs to do as they choose. We can't
Correct.
dictate that because Board of Fireworks is their own governing body.
I believe you're correct.
Okay.
so like, say for highway though, there's nothing here about like equipment, you know, I don't know if they wanna fine tune their stuff.
Well,
That's why I want to
That's
have
what we were talking about.
department heads get
was having
involved.
the department head kind of tailor their own
Yeah,
page 2
Yeah,
with comments.
yeah, that's where the conversation
Yeah.
is.
yeah,
It's really page 2.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah. Okay.
Because attendance, job knowledge, quality, quantity, reliability,
And then we'll leave this
initiative
other
is
one.
basically a standard.
It's just generic, yeah.
Quantity is, to me, is maybe that box gets changed to something different.
I'd like to see us strike it altogether.
Yeah, that one can kinda go away, I think.
You don't
The
wanna know,
quality
you
of
don't wanna
work-
know how many people
Well,
we
you know,
can-
you could put teamwork in there,
Yeah,
Yeah.
or your team player, because some
Yeah.
people, you know, that's in some places,
Yeah.
that's a big quality.
Yeah, yeah, is working well with others type thing.
Yeah,
So,
something like that,
so
exactly
which,
right.
what are you talking about? The
Quantity?
Quantity of work is.
we
what
don't
you
do a
want.
quantity.
team play, a team?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, well, we're not on a production line, really.
Right.
Right.
Some days.
Yeah.
Feels like
There's
it.
that old saying, you know, the one person does 80% of the work, right? That's the guy who would be under
That's
the
a state job.
corner. Yeah, exactly. The rest of them are observing.
So I think we're done with your report, correct? We've been done with your report,
Yep.
Yes.
and we're now, yeah, cause actually it's finished up, cause that was an ex officio reporting.
Thank-
Brings us to correspondence and other business.
Teamwork.
Thanks, Sherry, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I got one thing.
Oh, come on,
It's short and sweet.
excellent.
All right.
Who's gonna put the handicap parking signs up? Is that something DPW is gonna do over here?
Who's done it in the past?
I
What-
stuck 2 or 3 up
what
there
do they
last
look
year, and
like?
I was
Do
told
we
I
even
had to
have
take
them?
down,
Why?
but cause I handmade them.
Oh,
Because they're not legal signs.
Right.
Right.
So are we ordering signs? I don't
We're
even
gonna have to.
know.
well,
I don't
yeah,
know if Benji's got any.
well, that would be the question, I guess that'd be,
That's better.
yeah, that would be question 1.
Yeah.
Do we have any, and 2, do we need to get
Can
any?
we get
They
them
had 'em
in time?
posted
It's a
there.
month.
I think that they sell them on like, Uline and Granger.
Probably get them on Amazon.
You can.
Exactly, and that's what I'm thinking, you can get them with the correct RSA or the
Yeah.
correct, the correct
Yeah.
verbiage on them,
Yeah, ADA
I'm
stuff.
just curious.
yeah,
Yeah,
No, good question.
it is a good question.
yeah, I
So
mean,
they'd have
you
to
know,
be
you can put them up,
removable.
yeah, you can put them up, but just as long as they're termed correctly and
Right,
spaced correctly and,
Yes.
so.
Right, but we're not.
I like Sherry's idea of burnouts at the back of the parade.
I'm good with that,
Stop
you know, I am awesome, I'll be in the
Bring
parade,
your hot rod.
There's an antique car section of the parade, put it in.
Burnouts too? All right.
Smoke show.
You know how many people are gonna, you know how happy people are
So
gonna
it's
be?
called carburetor issues, okay?
Yes, exactly.
We still ain't got the fireworks money yet.
So are we on, we're on court, just other business, real quick. Now, you guys all got Maureen's breakdown on how it would work as far as the extra charges.
Yeah,
I
I think
forwarded it
she
to
sent, yeah,
everyone.
she sent it.
When did you send it?
I don't remember getting that.
I got inundated with so many emails I may have lost track, but when was that sent?
Yeah,
I
I got something somewhere.
It should have been sent, I should have done it the exact same day she sent it to me.
Yeah, it's,
So it would have been from you?
it was like a
Yeah,
buck,
it would've
wasn't
come
it
from
like
me.
a buck and a half and another 50-something cents? Is that what you
Yeah,
were
see,
talking about?
Oh, is that transfer station decal email?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
was like a,
it was just that we asked what it was gonna cost, and so we agreed on, the people come in, there's no charge to them except for the decal. But if you buy it online, Clerk Works or whoever does the processing has a flat fee, the same as the
Yeah,
registrations.
$1.50.
It's $1.50.
Buck and a half.
So it's just a matter of that was a question, got that squared away. She's all ready to go. It doesn't cost us any other money. That's how they make their money. In other words, we're not buying into a program. You know, we don't have like a monthly fee for this.
I think it's a no cost.
It's zero cost us.
Okay.
Zero.
Because it
impact.
gets, Interware's gonna make the icon on the website.
Right.
so how much was it per sticker?
$1 per sticker, and then if they do it right there at the counter, that's it.
Yeah.
No additional cost. If they do it online, then there's just a normal.
And that's just a pass-through fee. It's not
Yeah,
like,
no.
we're not charging it, Interware's charging, or the
Yes.
online merchant is.
Merchant's charging
Exactly.
it.
It doesn't have to, it doesn't affect, doesn't go upstairs
So
at
the
all.
credit card, you're charged a fee.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I did CC Beth only because the dollar will go to Beth.
The
If we
financing.
stay there.
Right.
And that dollar's to pay for the
Pay for
sticker.
the stickers.
Exactly. And the time it takes and the shipping and whatever else.
I'm assuming that's going into the general fund?
That's why I sent it to Beth. I would have
Yeah.
no idea where that would go.
Well, it's just a,
Okay, so if that's okay with everybody, then what we'll shoot for is like the first week of July as registrations for the month of July. will implement this. So,
With the understanding the transfer station can't really
Enforce it.
enforce it for a year.
Right,
no,
because-
well, the
till
old
everybody gets
stickers
cycled
are
through.
all still in play.
Right.
So the old stickers are still there.
Haven't had a sticker on any of my vehicles in
Well,
years.
that's part of our problem.
Yep.
Well, that's
Okay.
a problem.
Yeah,
We've got
that's why
people
we're
like
doing
you.
this, but,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. I don't,
They don't, not giving them out.
yeah, they don't ask, they don't give them out. This is why we're doing it,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So
know me.
we'll just work with the status quo, and then by
Yep.
next July, we will have 100%.
Maybe we
of the
put
people-
something on the is the message board still at the top of the hill by the, where's that?
Down the bridge.
They're both
Down
on the
by the
bridge.
bridge.
Okay, so maybe put something on the message board that see the town clerk for your new dump sticker.
Well, yeah, up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and then last thing, John, this is, you're gonna get saddled with this, because you don't have any other project going. We're digging the graves, Sherry's got that, I've been busy as heck. You have to put together a handout. So what we need is the handout to describe the recycling
I'll tell you
process.
right now, I'm no good at that.
Okay, I'll do it.
I am not.
Oh, you rolled over quick on that.
Well, somebody's got to do it, because they can't implement this. Maureen needs a handout to explain, I mean, part of what's
At
happening.
least a notification that she can post on the
Yep.
thing.
Yeah, well, but people are actually like, don't know the definition of cardboard, you know, like, they don't even know what we recycle. Naomi's found out, just like I found out, there's a ton of people that don't even know
Yeah.
we even have recycling. They're like, what?
Yeah.
And so Maureen wants a handout that she can give the people that say, here's the hours.
Does
here's the-
Benji already have one? Or
Here's-
did
no, he
Matt
just-
create one
He just
when
has
he
the
was?
fee structure.
Well,
That's
take,
all
you
he
can
has.
take the fee,
It's very simple.
yeah.
No, I thought
I'll
there
pass
used to
it.
be, isn't there something on the town website about recyclables?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's a whole page on it.
I
Well,
just
you
think,
can make one up pretty
want to make sure we're not
quick.
reinventing the wheel here. If there's already stuff on the page that maybe we can just doctor up and turn into a
Yeah, it's
flyer.
gonna be a cut and paste. It just has to get
Or
done.
put it on the homepage and post
And
post it to
Facebook,
Facebook.
yeah.
Yeah.
She wants a
Facebook
piece of
thing, right?
paper to hand
What?
them.
She still does
She
the Facebook
requested
thing,
a
right?
handout
Well, she can make it.
with the.
If she requests it, she
Well,
can
I've
make
got the fee.
I
We
bet you
we
Jerry's
have
got
the,
something in New Boston.
hey, it's
Yeah,
not a
but we're
big
not
deal.
exactly
It's
the same
really
as
not a
Jerry.
big deal. It's a cut
You're
and
not what?
paste. Here you go.
You know what?
I says,
I don't mind doing it, be
You're
quite
not
honest
friends
with you.
no, I said, we're not Jerry. Our town's not Jerry's town, so we
Well, no,
accept
but
the
I'm
same
saying that,
things.
like a handout as far as what cardboard is, things like that.
Yeah.
I wonder, because when Jerry.
What about
first
the
started out,
NRRA? I'm sure they would have stuff
Yeah,
that,
maybe the NRA has
Yeah.
something.
NRRA might.
Yeah,
We
if
already
they-
have all the fees.
no, I'm thinking, you're asking for flyers and handouts. NRRA, we pay them our membership fees.
Maybe they have
I'm
resources.
sure they already
to
have all
help
that
supply
stuff put together. Maybe we just need to request it from them. And they'll already have the pre-printed color flyers that we don't have to pay for.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not gonna be a color flyer. This
Well,
is-
no,
this-
if
this-
NRRA
this-
has color
This is
ones,
gonna be.
Yeah, but
front
maybe
and
that,
back
maybe NRA has
with-
something like that.
With the thing stapled to the corner, here you go, so somebody can say, oh, I didn't know you charged fees.
But maybe NRA already has a document like that we can just print off.
correct.
That,
I will double check.
yeah,
You guys can't make it easy, right?
no. Well, we're trying to save you
So
some
while
work,
I'm
maybe.
digging the hole, you can be.
No,
you
while I'm
can be-
digging the hole, you can be,
Googling it.
you
all
can be
right.
supervising the digging the hole.
So how about this? If I email you guys with an attachment, whatever it turns out to be, you can approve it so we can kick this off in July, because the clock is ticking. So,
As far as the recycling, right?
Yeah,
Where's the
we can review it
Stickers, this
and,
dump
Oh, the stickers,
stickers.
yeah,
this
stickers,
is the
yeah.
handout
I'm
for the
talking about the
sticker.
sticker.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but Maureen wants them to know what's
What's recycled, what's not
over there,
recycled,
what
et
are the
cetera.
recyclables,
And that's fine.
cardboard,
Hours.
tin
And we don't
cans,
do
aluminum.
plastics, you
No
know,
plastics
that's
at this
beyond there
point.
now, so people don't have to ask when they get there, where do I put it? That kind of thing, just
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very generic, simple.
And when in doubt, the demo bin.
the website already has all that stuff.
Yeah, I know it does.
Yeah,
It's a
so-
cut and paste.
Yeah.
It literally is a cut and paste handout.
Okay,
Okay, cool.
that works.
That's all I have on that, unless there's a couple of
NRRA
things.
would have that because we ship through them, so they
Correct.
know what's
What's
NRA,
accepted, what's
acceptable and
not.
what isn't.
Right.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
it's NRA.
Let's not reinvent-
NRRA.
RRA.
Let's
Two Rs.
not reinvent the wheel on this one,
Yeah,
please.
let's just, copy and paste.
No, but if we're paying money to the
To the
NRRA for
association,
membership,
if they have a resource.
yeah,
we might as well
absolutely,
use
let's
it.
use it.
Yeah. I mean,
Get some
I
of
would
our
like
money
it-
back out of it.
I would like it if they had stuff we could have up there, even, you know. We are getting in the grant on the Hampshire Beautiful, Ben and I have
Yeah.
been working on that. We have access to a once-a-year grant, and it doesn't have a cap on it.
No,
And it's
that's,
a one-page form, and they basically, as long as we can pay for half, they'll grant you up to half.
Well,
Yeah, we got.
depending on what it is, obviously.
Huge
So it has
resource.
to be equipment used at the recycling.
But depending on what it is and how much it's gonna cost,
Yeah,
we're
well,
on a small
the reason
budget.
I
I think
found
it's
out
like
about
10
it.
grand for a piece of equipment, something like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
How much?
Hillsborough
I
just,
think it's 10
that's
grand.
exactly what Hillsborough just got. They got 10 grand for their new, skid steer.
Yeah.
But it's a most simple form. It's literally,
A page.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of transfer station,
Yes.
or DPW in general, I'd really feel more comfortable if we are gonna be going down there to do walkarounds, inspections, et cetera, that we make sure that the DPW director is informed and present at all inspections, walkthroughs, et cetera, going forward, because
He
there was an incident where, incident that recently took place that he was not present for, and I don't think that was correct. We should have all department heads be there when we're doing inspections of their facilities, and I think it's just common courtesy.
just to let you know, John, he was made aware of, he made a request to come up with a plan to do the repair. And he was made aware that we were gonna do that walkthrough. What happened was, the building inspector texted me on Sunday, said he had an opening because he has very limited time schedule. It wasn't an inspection of the property, it was to create a how to do it. And
Right.
it was when he arrived to create this scope of work that he realized
But
that what transpired from that on. But it was completely transparent. I can show you the email that went.
Oh, no,
to-
I'm not doubting that. It's the,
I still think it should have been made on a day that he could have been there. Myself.
Well,
Even if he was aware, it's fine, but
but he.
it was
he
the day off.
informed that it was gonna happen
It's a-
in an
it's-
email.
It's
But
a day
did you-
off and he
did-
has other things going on.
yeah, it should be made on,
Well,
things like that should be happening on the day that the supervisor is available to work.
And I would agree with you, I agree with you 100%, especially if it was a scheduled walkthrough of his property. I'm not saying that it wouldn't happen in the future, because obviously what has transpired would say, yes, this is the logical thing to do because of the reaction.
Yep. Again, what's done is done. I'm talking about going
Moving
forward.
forward.
Yeah.
Right.
But I.
Let's make
yeah.
every
Every
reasonable
possible,
attempt
yeah, reasonable
to
effort,
have the department heads there at any
any given time.
inspection of any department.
Okay, cool.
That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
no,
I would agree.
I agree if, and if in fact.
It just shows a respect.
And if in fact it was gonna happen as a review of the property, that certainly would have been the case, because at one point it was not to.
Okay, because that visit resulted in the condemnation of a structure down there.
And that's pretty major.
That's a huge issue. Now, that's an issue that we need to address as a board.
Right.
Where are we getting the money? How fast can we have this fixed? Do we have to have engineering studies? I don't know all the details, but I'm assuming you're more,
Yeah.
you're more
The only thing.
versed of what's going on, so.
Romeo, well, the building inspector met with Ben to review a suggested plan, scope of work, okay? Ben is now ordering those, or getting pricing for those materials, okay? It's, an engineer would, whoever's supplying the material, there's an 80-pound dead load on a roof, okay? So the calculation of the span.
You're talking live load of the roof.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Whether it's how you wanted to define live or dead, but anyway, so now just the LVL that would go between those two posts, that's what Romeo has suggested. The sizing of that based on the span, the actual lumber company supplying that can calculate that for you, okay? So that would negate needing the engineer, as long as we had that calculation from them.
Okay.
So it's fairly straightforward what needs to be done. It was just the existing condition. And what's really needs to happen, so it's all in motion right now, as far as I know, because I'm not directly involved in that. That's a discussion that happened. I did not attend the meeting with Romeo and Ben. So that part of it, I'm done, right? We have a solution, we have a scope of work. And the next thing is just that in his letter condemning the building, he clearly says that the building shouldn't be being used. And it is being used.
How long ago did this happen?
June 6th.
Why am I just hearing about this on Friday?
What?
The only.
The condemnation of this building.
Oh,
Because I don't know why on June 6th is when he did it. It's to the board. I got this out of my box upstairs.
Okay.
Are they in the box upstairs?
No, I mean, I didn't put it in the box, but I wasn't here. I do know that it was drawn up, but there was gonna be a conversation on Tuesday, which I wasn't here, because Ben doesn't work Mondays.
Right.
So, I mean, I have a copy here if you,
I'm disappointed. It's been 3 weeks,
Well-
and I found out about it when I was talking to Benji on Friday about something unrelated. He told me about it, and obviously you knew about this.
I didn't know about it in our last meeting, and what I
Okay.
did, and I actually, like I said, I was clear of it, except what happened, started to write an email with the upcoming meeting, because I did not attend Romeo's meeting with the TA and/or with Ben. I sent it through to Naomi to proof, to make sure that she was agreeable with what I was stating. And I received it back, and I told Rick it was on its way, and I shipped it.
so that was at the last meeting, was the date that was written. He did not, until he talked to Ben, which was Tuesday, and I haven't seen you guys since then. And that's, I mean, I wasn't here last week, I wasn't here last Friday before that. I know a lot has transpired, but I was asked to wait till the two parties could meet face-to-face before giving it. And that happened on a Tuesday when I wasn't here, and things went down from there.
So, John,
just
to let you know, my assumption was everybody had this. This is
Okay.
addressed to the select.
okay.
I made.
Yeah, I don't have it unless it's something
I did
upstairs.
not know you guys didn't have it.
If we could let Romeo know that any future condemnation of a
Any
town
building
building,
needs to go immediately to us.
yeah, even if it's
Email.
a special meeting, I don't care.
It
But
needs to come to
to
us.
find out about this 3 weeks later, it's to me a little unnerving.
Well,
That's just
It hasn't been 3 weeks.
okay. 2 weeks.
Well, because I
June
was gonna
6th,
say,
yeah.
I was asked to wait till they met face-to-face on Tuesday. I'm not there on Tuesday, and then things went down from there.
Yep.
Right.
And I forgot to,
Yeah, how it slipped through the cracks, I don't know, John.
Okay.
So now where are we storing the,
In the salt shed.
Salt
In the
it's still
salt
being
shed.
stored the same place.
So,
Right.
my big question, and this is what I actually called Rick, because I went to the transfer station on Saturday to dump a demo load, and noticed the building is still being used. And there's like, I was surprised, because it's clearly stated that it isn't to be used.
Well, and in their respect, if we're just finding out 2 weeks after date, do they even know about it?
Yes, the DPW director was notified the
Tuesday
day,
morning.
was
Day after
notified the
that.
day of their meeting.
Okay.
So, I just wanna make sure it's still not being used.
That I don't know.
That I don't know.
Well, we have to make sure it isn't.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's a liability.
Who is that person? I
But
mean,
are there temporary shoring posts that we can put up to allow us to reuse this? I mean, those are questions that we
Well,
probably ought to
Timeline wise.
in the meeting that they had, I know this because I asked the same question, they agreed to store the material in the salt shed,
So it's undercover.
Until it's repaired.
Okay.
okay?
So it's undercover.
Yes, but since then, it has been ignored and is not being put in the salt shed and is being put in the existing building. There's no reason for it. We have every single one of our 10-wheelers is parked outside. We have plenty of storage down there. So all that was discussed.
That's a very valid question, and we need to find out if it is being used.
Right.
And if it is, then we need to ask that they stop using it until we can
Get it
either
fixed.
either repair it properly or
Well, it sounds like the
or
wheels
some
are
temp-
sounds like the wheels are in motion to get it repaired
Right.
properly.
or temporary shoring at least to allow us, because you can get shoring columns and a beam up there if that's
in a short time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, I don't think that, again, that's a place I do have a lot of experience. the concrete contractor has been there and is putting together a price so that we don't have to bury the
Post.
posts in the dirt like we
Yep.
did before, which rotted the bottoms out. If you've gone physically and looked at the building, you'll realize that
Oh, it's,
Well,
Probably everything's
we gotta
tough,
get
good
this
stuff.
fixed.
Yeah.
well, now it rolls to the point of, now I mean, and I'm not discrediting what the building inspector or anything like that has said, but if we're gonna be pouring, are we talking brand new concrete for every post?
No, see, what they did was they buried precast
2x2
concrete
by 4 foot blocks
Okay,
are buried.
horizontally.
And then the 8x8s are
sitting on
set
them,
on top of
Okay.
them.
okay,
Okay, so what Ben was,
The 8x8s are,
that far in the dirt,
yes.
okay.
so what Ben was thinking he was gonna do is pull those blocks out, try to turn them vertically. He called me on that. I said, why don't you just leave those there? And we'll just put 2 foot by 2 foot high concrete. No, believe it or not, the labor, the amount of fuel he would burn in excavating that, and the loss of compaction.
can you buy, you can buy those already precast from
Yeah,
Mtg or another concrete
Well,
company.
It's really no big deal to take two by two panels, and in an hour, Brett Hadley would set those 5 up and drop some dowels in and fill them with concrete. I mean, literally, it's not that, the price is coming, if you have other suggestions, but that would be a very efficient way to leave everything. I don't want to see any excavation there, because then we're going to dig
Undermine.
a hole under that building to take
You
and
tear the whole building out at that point, yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. It's all there, it's established.
Yep.
And then Ben has suggested that he's going to figure out how to pave that section underneath there. Because why the damage is happening is we're putting a skid steer down on the sand with solid tires.
And that gets
It
stuck.
flex a little bit, the bale shifts,
Yep.
and we're smashing them. So we're eliminating, also, there's only about 4 inches, if he goes 3 across or 2 across, I forget how it is, there's only about 4 inches between the post when the guy's coming in or out. So now we're eliminating the middle post. So we're taking impact
Make it
points.
a clearer span.
We cut the impact points in half.
Right.
which is fine, just again, this is all taking money that, and I'm not discrediting it, it's just we're on a banjo string, and the string is withering, financial.
Well,
So,
again, it's life or death, so, we can't, I mean,
It's a
we have to
safety
fix
issue,
it, or we just don't use it until we do have the money. And that's our really only option. And
so that's why
I think this is the most economical, there's no,
I'm not disagreeing at all, I just want, again, everything comes with a price tag, and we don't have a budget.
then we have
I
a
mean-
discussion about eliminating the building, but we
We,
can't.
we
fix
have,
it.
we have a small budget, I mean, the government buildings fund, but again, it's not
Well, we also
something-
have that 5% emergency that we never want to dip into.
don't want to touch that until we're in November.
Yeah.
But I think with fuel, salt,
Electricity now.
now that's the
Yeah.
other thing too, is
I asked,
50% increase.
that apply to us too?
she-
Okay,
First I ever heard of it.
100% increase.
100%
I've
increase.
asked to see if that applies to, if
Well-
municipals and commercial also.
So that was published the other day, that
Electric, no, 100%?
Eversource is going from 11 cents a kilowatt to 22 and
22.
change. It's
Yeah.
100%, 100%
100%.
markup. And if that affects us, then basically, at that point, I think we need to have a meeting about, spending freezes.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
between fuel, salt, and electricity,
Oh, yeah.
we're already in the red.
If it does apply to us, can Beth put together what last year's electric bill was? Just so we know what,
Times two, and see what we're looking at.
Well, it wouldn't be times
Well,
2,
it's
because.
just
August,
the-
August 1st.
If you ever
It's
look at your electric bill,
It's
the
just
smallest
the-
thing on there
it's
is
just the
actually what you
use,
pay
it's
for
not the-
electric.
Yeah.
It's the electric, it's not the
It's not the
rest of
delivery
it.
charge.
no, but at least we know what our
So
bills
multiply by
were.
30% or whatever,
And
30 or 40%.
Eversource can, I assume we use Eversource.
Yeah.
Eversource can give us what our kilowatt hour usage was for the
the
entire
year.
year. You see that on
Right.
the bill, so.
Can I just back up 1 second, just because someone has to give the directive to DPW that they can, because they have to stop using this building, because Primex would have a field day with this if something ever happens now that this letter's been written.
All right, and that's fine. I'm good with getting quotes. I'm good with getting quotes, but we need to assess it before we just say fix it.
Of course, yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's gonna make a presentation.
No, Kevin's point is we need to make sure that they're not using it anymore.
And that's fine. I have no problem with that.
Who's gonna do that?
Can you reach out to Benji and
Yeah.
verify that they are not using that building and they're not
They
to
know
use that
not to use it
building?
as well.
And they don't, because on Saturday I asked them.
Yeah,
I know was the case as of Saturday.
Yep.
It may have changed.
all right. Okay.
Okay.
I have one quick thing. I have not heard back from any of the contractors that I've contacted about putting a gutter on the barn down there. And right now.
The one on East Road?
Yeah, and they Highway came up and filled it in. We've had a couple of major rainstorms there. I've already lost about a foot of dirt in this round area. So what I was thinking was, maybe what we could do is just get a roll of heavy plastic. I'll go get it. And lay the plastic down on the ground so it directs the water down through instead of letting it seep down through the foundation.
Can we do that and put some, like, 2-inch stone on top of it to weigh it down so it doesn't blow away?
Well, I would just say some of those small cement blocks there, every 10 feet or so, put one. They're not gonna go anywhere, and that way you don't have to deal with a stone down the road, you
Yep.
know?
Okay.
Just a thought.
What's the foundation got a hole?
Well, it's a stone foundation, so the fines are washing down through, and the fines are ending up down in the basement. And at some point, if you don't take care of it, you know, you can.
Yeah, we saw that in the
make
walkthrough 3
Yeah.
years ago during that winter,
We
yeah.
cleaned that all out. We went down and shoveled that all out with,
Yep.
you know, things.
Yeah, if I remember right, there were some holes you can see daylight through.
Oh, multiple.
Yeah. And,
I wonder if some spray foam would help. Can you
Yeah.
do that legally?
I don't
you
know.
know, but the other thing down there too
It does
is if
stop water, John.
Yeah, but can you do that from an environmental standpoint in a rock foundation? I don't
probably
know.
don't wanna do
Yeah,
that.
well, you wouldn't want to do it because it would be probably historically not correct, but I
Right.
can't see why it would hurt because they make stuff to
Yeah.
insect
Yeah,
preventive
that's true.
foams now
But-
and then.
But the other thing that you notice if you're standing down there, and
Guy with a
Yeah.
boat.
down a ways, that the road is
A
higher
Flex Seal.
than
Yeah.
the land.
Mhm.
So all the water that's coming off is coming.
All the roads are higher than the land used to be
Yeah.
because we built them all up.
Yeah,
Right,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem.
but anyway, so I'll get some plastic, I'll get that done.
okay,
Just before we adjourn, and I assume we are going to adjourn,
so,
okay, there were other things noted not during that meeting?
that's gonna be discussed at a later meeting.
Okay, okay, just want to make sure
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's gonna be
that
discussed
was-
later.
That was part of the conversation I had with the director, and him and I came to the agreement it would be best if we had a meeting on a separate evening,
Okay,
that we could
Good.
dedicate a
Yeah.
block of time without having other stuff on the agenda, so
I
we
got
can
it.
all sit
I
down
got
and
it.
talk. Yep.
Done, got it.
So
And I
it's
think
gonna
that's a
happen.
great idea.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Second that.
Move second, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Have a wonderful week, everyone.
And